Griffiths, and I'm joined of Harry Wright, and we will be taking you through this afternoon's action. Wrexham line up with one change from the side, an enforced change, of course, because Sam Wedgbury is suspended after his dismissal against Tranmere last Saturday. So, coming in his place is Mark Carrington. Apart from that, understandably, Dean Keats hasn't wanted to make many alterations because Wrexham, well, were magnificent last Saturday in that derby match. Really terrific performance. Wrexham taking on our local rivals, going a man down after 14 minutes after Wedgbury's red card, but holding on, well, not holding on, defending magnificently, and then striking from a corner, Holroyd scoring his first goal for the club to earn victory. So, the Wrexham side line up as following. Luke Coldington is in goal. Across the back, Kevin Roberts at right back, James Jennings at left back, Manny Smith and Sean Pearson, the central defenders. In midfield, Mark Carrington and Akil Wright are the two central midfielders. On the right-hand side, Paul Rutherford. On the left, Marcus Kelly. And up front, Chris Holroyd and Alex Reid. On the Wrexham bench, James Hurst is fit and back alongside sub-keeper Callum Preston, Jack McCreth, the Tumba Masanka and Scott Bolden. And well, Harry, I mean, certainly it's no real surprise to see the side unchanged after the heroics of last week.
Yeah, I mean, I was unfortunate enough not to be able to attend, but when I saw after 13 minutes we'd gone a man down, I thought, oh, well, you know, it was a good effort, lads, but never mind. And then kind of sort of forgot about it, looked at the final score and saw we'd won. I was like, how did we manage that? And I was there, watched the goal on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and it was fantastic. It was a great goal, really, you know, beautiful finish, but, you know, great spirit and character. Obviously, Tranmere, we always give them, I think, a bit of a game. Since they've fallen into this level, we've never really gone down that easily. And I think this showed again that when we actually get a lot of spirit behind us, we can pretty much beat anyone. And that's one thing I do praise this team for, and nothing else. They've got a lot of charisma, I guess. You know, they don't go down without a fight, as I think perhaps we've seen a couple of previous seasons. So yeah, a great win for Wrexham despite everything, and you know, hopefully they can carry that form on into this game today.
Absolutely, a hell of a test awaits us against Sutton. I guess at the top of the table, a very physical, direct team, and a team that have, quite frankly, sprung a few surprises in their team selection. 4 changes from the team that beat Barrow last week, so obviously their manager Paul Doswell wasn't happy with what he saw out there. Their form has been oddly erratic for a team that's top of the table. They've actually only won 2 of their last 5 matches, and there's a sort of joke going around with them that every time they go top of the table, they then lose their next match. They've been top of the table 3 times already this campaign. But yeah, they've really rung the changes across their side. And it'll be really interesting to see how they line up. No doubt their approach will be the same. They are route one, big and physical. But exactly how they set themselves up, it'll be interesting. They've got Jamie Butler in goal, I can assure you that. Then 4 across the back normally, Asvad Thomas, Louis John, Jamie Collins, Simon Downer. And then after that, well, all bets are off. Ross Lafayette will be playing up front, supported by Moses Emmanuel. They got Tommy Rice, Simon Walton, Josh Taylor, and Nicky Bailey in what looks to be a massively reshaped midfield. But it's interesting to see just what shape they will play. But, I mean, you can see when you see their recent form, can't you, Harry, that like I said, for a team at the top of the league, maybe this says something about the nature of this league at the moment. They're erratic, but it's good enough to be top.
Yeah, they're very erratic. But, I mean, looking at sort of the points difference between 1st and 9th, there's only 3 points. So, you know, in theory, Maidstone United, who are 9th on 19 points, by the end of the day, could be top of the league and, you know, jump 9 places, essentially. So it is ridiculously close at the top. And I think it's because every team at the moment, you know, is playing well, but still has relatively erratic form. I think Sutton as well, they're that high because they've lost 4 games, but they've won 7. They've only drawn 1. So they've only sort of dropped 2 points on one occasion when they've actually, you know, not won it. So I think that's a big contributing factor. And I think for me, I said this at the start of the season, well, when they'd played a few games, I think Sutton will sort of drop away. The other teams that are up there, they look good enough to be up there. You know, they're always like, Aldershot always do quite well, Dover always do quite well. You know, they're, you know, the teams that you'd expect up there. But Sutton, I think, got a good start, and I think have managed to maintain this, but I think it'll be, won't be too long before they do begin to drop away.
I don't think so. I personally, my general view of this league is exactly what you're saying, Harry. I'm very encouraged by Wrexham's position, because I feel when you look at Wrexham, and pleasingly, when the Wrexham coaching staff look at Wrexham, I feel that there's a lot more to come from this team. It's been built from the back, and defensively it's rock solid, but there's a lot more to come in terms of creativity and goals, and I think there's clear potential for that to happen. So I think this Wrexham team does not hit its rhythm yet, whereas I totally agree with you. A lot of the teams around us have hit their best form of the season. I suspect teams like Halifax are up there, aren't they? I would have thought they're going to be sliding down a bit. Woking, surely a classic example of that. I don't see them sustaining a promotion challenge. Sutton, however, I think are the exception to that. They've had a good cup run last year, and they've raised money as a result. They've spent it, and I think this is a chance for them to actually get up. And I know that might be a bit of a surprise. And there is, of course, that big codicil. They've got an artificial pitch, and you're not allowed to use that in the Football League. However, despite all those factors, I certainly think, I reckon they're set up to stay up the top end. I am really curious, though, to see exactly what they've done with all these alterations. It seems terribly counterintuitive to go top of the table and then change 4 of your 10 outfield players. There may be injury problems they haven't made public, because there were 2 players who appeared to be having a fitness test before the match, so it could be partly forced on them. But it does seem odd, doesn't it, to be top of the table and then making a number of alterations, doesn't it? The teams are on their way out now. Led out by the referee, Peter Rice. Wrexham in red shirts, white shorts. Sutton in all yellow. And the multitude of mascots today, including Dixon McNeil's grandson, who's a big, big fan. He was telling me before the match Chris Holroyd is his favourite player, and he's walking out with him, in fact. Well, let's hope the Holroyd is able to perform for him. So, it's live here on Calon FM. Wrexham at home to the league leaders Sutton. Wrexham could go above Sutton here with a positive result, as Paul Doswell, the quite charismatic manager of Sutton, makes his way into the dugout. But it is a peculiar one, isn't it? You go top of the table, half your team's changed. Maybe he knows something that we don't know. But, I mean, maybe he's looking at it from a very pragmatic point of view and is seeing what Wrexham's strengths and weaknesses are. And maybe you can say, OK, this team's the team that's won us all the games, but they might be rubbish against a team that plays like Wrexham does. So maybe he's choosing them, but it's not. I don't know. That might be quite far-fetched at this level, where you don't have the massive roster of players that, a top-flight team would have. But, I'm sure he's obviously got his reasons. You wouldn't just chop and change a team like that. But maybe he wants as well some consistency. Maybe he's concerned by the fact that, he's only, he wins a game and loses and draws and wins. Maybe he wants to say, well, we want to win or draw every game. So maybe we need to mix something up. Just because it's good doesn't mean it's perfect. So maybe there's that reason. But, there's all sorts of things to consider, I guess. This is why I'm not a manager. I don't know. I think that's quite philosophical. If you stand still, you go backwards, don't you? It's a smart move. But it will be interesting to see how they settle and how they do. One thing will definitely be certain. They will be physical. They start games fast. They're direct. They're very big. They knock long balls in the box. And they tend to let a lot of their goals in the second half as well. So a Wrexham side that is very solid, professional, deals with things physically, and might be advised to just get dug in the first half and fight them. And then in the second half, if they tire a little bit, because statistics suggest they do, maybe in the second half of the Wrexham will be able to push on. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they are very physical. I can see from here, they're all quite large. I don't want to suggest anything about, National League training regimes, but I suspect that some of them might not necessarily have the fitness to go the full 90 minutes with full concentration. So hopefully, a bit more of a regimented Wrexham side, perhaps, could run circles around them by the end of the game. Maybe I'm talking out my backside, who knows? I haven't seen Sutton play a lot this season, obviously, but, I trust your sort of scout report and,
their statistics, as you said, they let a lot of goals in the second half. Well, Wrexham normally do their business towards the end of games. I see a lot of the time as they kind of, I think long balls over the top might work quite well for Wrexham because we can get them on the counter, as you said.
Well, we're about to get things underway. A fine drizzle is falling here at the racecourse. Wrexham will be kicking towards the Kop in the first half as the referee, Peter Wright, just makes sure that everything is in order. Sutton start long ball style with a load of players up on one half of the halfway line, ready to launch it towards them. This will be a bombardment from Sutton. Let's see how Wrexham deal with it. A side which, so far, has looked well equipped to deal with that sort of thing as Sutton knock it forwards. And it's on the edge of the area. Manny Smith attacks it, wins a thunderous header. And it's out for a throw in the halfway line. That's what Wrexham will need from Manny Smith, from Sean Pearson, from all the back four. Quick, long throw put in behind the defence. Wrexham partially cleared it. Poked back in towards the edge of the area by Taylor. And Wrexham clear. A long ball in again. Pearson wins that well. Kelly to the second ball does well to knock down to Jennings. The ball down the line is on. Jennings hits it long. John underneath it. Heads it clear. Akil Wright wins it. It's already head tennis, but Holroyd brings it down well. Good skill. Finds Roberts now. He's got space to run into. Driving over the halfway line. Ahead of him is Rutherford. Instead he squares it. Wrexham's first chance to get the ball down. Cannington, swift ball to Kelly. Good ball in the hole. First touch isn't good from Kelly though. And he's caught in possession on the right-hand side by Downer. Wrexham concede a free kick on the centre circle. Maybe necessary, but you can see straight away how this game's going to pan out. Bombardment from Sutton and Wrexham trying to get the ball down in midfield.
Yeah, I mean, you're making me quite... I don't think I've ever been this excited for a sort of long ball game of football before. You're hyping it up well, but... yeah, I mean, you see straight immediately, like their first kick of the game, Sutton trying to launch it right at the top. I think Wrexham, as long as they maintain their discipline and don't sort of leave gaps open for the Sutton attack, we'd be all right as they get the ball in the box, but take a shot, but it's blocked there well. But yeah, Sutton, they're really sort of going to try and test the defence today and just get it over the top. And I think we've really just got to get them on the break and get them on the counter because they don't have many men back, to be honest.
Ball's launched long to the edge of Wrexham's box once more. Lafayette, though, can't bring it down. Manny Smith clears. Oh, it's a scrap this already. Reed holds it up well in midfield. But then Cannington's caught in possession. Lafayette gets him behind Robertson, gets a free kick. Well, referee, that's very generous to Lafayette. It's right in the left corner of the box, just outside the area. Let's say it was a sort of challenge that McNulty made on Holroyd in the opening 30 seconds of the derby last Saturday. That level of touch, shall we say. Roberts might have tugged at his shirt. Not much more than that, but it's a free kick given in a very dangerous area. Like I say, it's about a yard square of the edge of the area, left-hand side. It can be ripped in, it could be a shot, it could be a cross, it could just be blasted across Collins's goal in the hope that someone gets a touch on it. This is a dangerous situation. Wrexham have a two-man wall. Rutherford and Holroyd. Referee watches for shirt tugging in the box. He's been very careful. Finally, he's happy, and he gives the go-ahead. The ball's driven in flat and is poked behind by Roberts. That was good defending by Roberts, who managed to lunge in ahead of his man. He was the man who conceded the free kick, and now he's conceded a corner. The referee's not happy with something that went on in the penalty area. Important that Roberts was alert there, though, wasn't it?
Definitely. I mean, obviously, that was a sort of tactic they worked on there, a low across the ground cross as opposed to a free kick, as opposed to the normal looping ball in. But Roberts, yeah, if he didn't have his wits about him, that would have gone straight to the Sutton player. But a good sliding challenge to knock the ball out for a corner there to Sutton again. But obviously, danger's not over yet, though.
Corner, left-hand side, lots of bodies on the penalty spot. Swept it near post, poor delivery, cleared away to the halfway line, where it'll be picked up by Bailey, and he goes all the way back to his keeper, Butler. Butler will launch it long, inevitably, looking for Lafayette, backing into Pearson. Pearson forces a loose ball, and Akil Wright again is quick. He's had a bright start, right, picking up loose balls. Good ball as well. Now, 3-on-3 break. Holroyd quickly over to the right-hand side. Rutherford crosses the halfway line. He's got options in the middle. 3 options in the middle. Decides to go around the outside of Aswan Thomas, then checks back into midfield to Carrington. He's still got bodies in the box, so Sutton got back very quickly. Roberts launches it in early. It's charged down, drops to Reed, back to goal, edge of the box. Oh, it's poor by Reed. He wanted to roll across, and he ran into trouble as Lafayette and Pearson go up. Pearson is fouled in the air by Lafayette. Pearson has stayed down holding his head. Lafayette complains that he's innocent. Don't like the look of Pearson. He looks a bit groggy to me. He's going to get up without a physio, I think, seeing him. But free kick in midfield to Wrexham. Pearson's still down, holding his head. He's slowly getting up now. He's made a stern stuff, Pearson, but he took a whack on the head there. Remember, you can ask us questions on hashtag AskWrexham, hashtag ASKWXM on Twitter. You want to know how things are going? I'll tell you now how it'll go. Sutton will lock a lot of long balls in, and if Wrexham can repel them and move it around on the floor, we got a chance. This is going to be a real physical test for Wrexham. So finally Pearson is okay, and he's up in the edge of the Sutton area. Kelly will take the free kick, standing in the centre circle. Sutton hold the line outside the box. Kelly dinks it in towards the penalty spot, headed away easily by Bailey. It'll be picked up on the halfway line by Rice, who pops it backwards. Sutton trying to find an angle for a long ball forwards. Wrexham press hard. In the end, Aswad Thomas knocks it long, looking for Moses. It's headed against him by Roberts, and Moses is quick to the loose ball, driving forwards, launch in the box. Lafayette, is he offside? Yes, he is. Linesman had a good think about that, but eventually the flag went up. But they were quick on the break there, weren't they, Sutton?
Yeah, I mean, they really sort of putting Wrexham to the sword at the moment, proving a good match. I mean, obviously, they are top of the table for a reason. You know, no one gets there for nothing. But I think Wrexham just previously had a good break as well. You know, Alex Reid, quite unlucky sort of not to get the touch he would have liked on the ball, but it was pretty much 3-on-3, Wrexham versus Sutton defence. And, you know, on another day, it might have worked out quite well for Wrexham. But it's proven to be, I mean, we're in a couple of minutes in, but quite an exciting game so far. I'm certainly enjoying it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the two different mentalities sort of clashing here. The proper old school lower league football of Sutton versus Dean Keats' sort of rather more pretty attempt at the game.
Long ball forwards again. Clever touch by Lafayette. Moses, though, is tackled by Carrington. And now here's Holroyd in his own half. Kelly takes over. Sutton press hard. Kelly drives over the top. Too much on that. Bounces through to the keeper. Some frustrated shouts from the crowd. The Yale stand behind me. Got to say, I think the fans have got to be patient here. It's not going to be easy to play good football against this Sutton side. It's knocked long, flicked on well by Lafayette. But Manny Smith will chase after that, get there first and run out for a throw-in. 10 yards away from the corner flag, right-hand side. And Kevin Roberts will go across to take. Roberts has got Holroyd eventually arriving into the second hole. Throws it towards him. He jumps and flicks that on well, but it falls to Bailey in midfield. Bailey, the holding midfielder, works it back to the halfway line. The right back, Downer, drives the long ball towards Lafayette, edge of the area. Manny Smith climbs. Lafayette beats him in the air. Pearson backed into it as well to head it clear. Poked away by Carrington. Long range shot by Bailey is blocked by Akeel Wright and spins away again. But again, Wrexham being forced back, and the second ball's spinning to Sutton players who put it back in the mixer. Long ball's the edge of the area. Moses brings it down well, but it's a poor ball out wide towards Taylor. And Rutherford covers. Bad clearance by Rutherford, though. And now it's a chance for Sutton to put something into the box from the left-hand side. Taylor helps it on his right foot, works it backwards. Cross comes in from Bailey, headed away well, again by Carrington, who's done some good tidy up work at the moment. Alex Reid, though, fails to hold on to it in the halfway line. Wrexham under pressure again. Good tackle by Akeel Wright, but Wrexham are deep, so it's coming back in again. Swung by Walton to the left-hand side. Moses at the cross, blocked by Roberts, throwing 15 yards out left-hand side. Relentless pressure from Sutton. They throw it back to the halfway line. Collins feeds to the edge of the area. Walton helps it on. Manny Smith attacked that well to clear. But again, here's Bailey, 30 yards out. Squares it on. Ball towards the edge of the area by Wright is a poor one. Pearson's clearance is blocked down, though. Sutton just crowd around the edge of the area. So hard for Wrexham to get the ball clear. It almost feels like a Tranmere game as Wrexham defend deep and knock it long. They're going to have to endure spells where Sutton get their long ball game going, and this is what they'll have to put up with. It's not long again for Lafayette. Roberts attacks it with him. Goes beyond both of them. Taylor on the left. Cuts inside. Wrexham press him well. Force him backwards to the halfway line. So back to the centre-back, John. And he changes the angle. Collins, will he play it long? Yes, he will. Lafayette down the flank. Jumping again with Roberts. Roberts as well to win it. And Carrington's quick to hack it away. The trouble is when you get penned in like that against long ball team, it's very hard to get out again, isn't it?
It is difficult because, you know, every time Sutton get the ball back, it's just going to go flying straight back into the box. The Wrexham, you know, they've barely been able to get out their own half so far. But I'm almost enjoying this sort of defensive performance. It's quite satisfying knowing that you're quite frustrating to Sutton. You know, that they can't break us down. We got a break here now as Holroyd passes it out wide to Kelly. He's Reed's up in the middle. He's going to go all the way on his own. Pass it out wide to Jennings though. Reed still in the middle. Ball out. Oh, unlucky for Holroyd then. He was in the box, but it was intercepted by a Sutton player. But yeah, this is what Wrexham need though. A good sort of counter-attacking break every now and again is, you know, but they're hard to come by, I think.
Here's his cleared long, and Manny Smith with a tremendous sliding tackle. Used the wet surface to beat Lafayette to it. It's a promising little break that by Wrexham. Cross doesn't have enough on it to beat Holroyd at the far post. But yeah, that's what Wrexham are going to be looking to do really today. Hit them on the counter. They've got to be patient when they haven't got the ball. Just throw in to Woking now. Right-hand side by the corner flag. It'll be Downer to take it. Downer drying the ball in his shirt. It's set up for a long throw. John, the centre-back, is up at the near post. Remember, you can ask us what we think of the game on hashtag AskWrexham. As Downer slings it towards the near post. Good header by Pearson. He's after the loose ball as well. And he's forced Moses to run it behind for a corner. But James Jennings has stayed down, and he looks in real distress. He's holding his knee. He challenged for that at the near post. Went down awkwardly. And he really looks in trouble. The referee still hasn't brought the physio, and he's standing there for ages. Well, let's hope he's okay. Jennings is on his hands and knees now. He tried to sort of get up and only rolled half over. The referee's not interested at all. He's not letting the physio on. And Jennings gets a pass in the back from Coddington, and that seems to have a miraculous effect because he's got up on his feet now. He's walking away to the edge of the box, and he doesn't seem to be limping too heavily, and that's certainly a relief for Wrexham because he went down then like he was really hurt. The hand of God, Harry points out, absolutely. He doesn't like that, apparently. I don't think he feels strongly about it, but I think all his career he's had the hand of God thrown at him, and apparently he's not that mad about it. Coddington knocks it long, 12th minute here in Calon FM. It's Wrexham 0, Sutton 0, as Reed lays off to Holroyd, doesn't give Holroyd much of a chance there. Manny Smith, once it's cleared, heads it away. It's put back over Wrexham's defence. Will bounce through to the Wrexham keeper. Coddington to Jennings. Sutton immediately pressing hard and forcing Jennings to put it out of play. It's really hard for Wrexham to get things going here. Throw into Sutton. 30 yards out right-hand side. Downer will take it. So you've seen already he's got a long throw. Doesn't really hurl this in, though. So he's not going to try and propel this into the box. He throws down the line. Pearson wins it well. Downer lets it go for another throw. Reed nearly nipped him behind him and kept it in. But it's a throw now just inside the Wrexham half, right-hand side, as we see the suspended Sam Wedgbury and the injured Chris Dunn behind the dugout chatting. Throw in taken. Collins goes back to his keeper. Reed then collides with Collins. Collins apologises to Reed, funnily enough. Long kick by Butler. Lafayette climbs. Great header by Pearson. It's Holroyd helping out in midfield, spreading it over to the right-hand side. Roberts, deep in his own half, winds himself up and then rolls it down the line. Borthwick swiftly back to him. Nice passing by Wrexham, but they're still in their own half as Carrington gets it back to Roberts. Roberts goes long this time. Holroyd blocked off cleverly by John. It spins through to the keeper Butler, and he will reload and fire once more. Lafayette lurks beyond the centre-backs, waiting for them to backpedal. It's hit towards him. That may be an offside, actually. I was watching it because of that. Flag does go up, yeah. Misjudged that. It's a big game for Smith and Pearson. They're going to be really buffeted around, aren't they?
Well, I think our defenders, they enjoy this sort of thing, really. You know, getting proper stuck in, and, you know, they get to showcase their talents. I think a lot of people only ever focus on the strikers, so, they'll be glad to have a proper game themselves. But speaking of which, you know, I think Holroyd and Reed are definitely, I mean, they haven't had many chances too, but when they do get the ball or get into good positions, they're looking dangerous. Holroyd especially, you know, he's kind of all over the pitch, really. And then Alex Reed as well, very good at getting himself into good positions to, you know, really test the Sutton defence and look dangerous. So I think, you know, this could be a very interesting game from Wrexham's perspective if they can sort of get themselves out behind Sutton.
Exactly right. Well, here they're trying to come forward. Reed is crowded out. It's cleared. Pearson. Now, here's where Sutton press well, and it's hard for Wrexham to pass their way out. Pearson's done well to get it back to Coddington. Manny Smith on the edge of his area. 15th minute here on Calon FM. Wrexham 0, Sutton 0. Manny Smith feeds to Holroyd, who's dropping off a loss and trying to help out the midfield and offer targets when Wrexham pass it out from the back. Manny Smith put under pressure, squares it. Roberts has a nice pass down the line. Rutherford, a little bit of space, 30 yards out, feeds it into the hole. Oh, and Holroyd's touch let him down. It's a shame. You just feel Wrexham is slightly tense in possession because they know they got to make the most of it when they've got it. And Holroyd there, tensed up, lost the ball. As the ball is rolled backwards, good footed by Rutherford, throw into Sutton. About 15 yards short of their own the halfway line, left-hand side. Thomas will take it, and he throws it down the line. Lafayette's a target, but it's headed away by Roberts, getting up in front of the target man. Knocked down the line again for Lafayette, and Manny Smith this time wins a header. Throw in to Sutton, 20 yards out. But again, that's what they do, passing for position, just knocking it long, forcing Wrexham to put it out, and they grind their way down the line with throw-ins. As with Thomas, says he wants to put a long one in. What I've seen of him, he hasn't got a very long throw, so they're not lining up by the 6-yard box. They're just on the corner of the area. Thomas puts it in towards John. Oh, and Rice misses his header, but luckily for Wrexham, Kelly is there to clear. But again, Wrexham can't win the second ball. Drops in midfield. Kelly's out quickly to pressure. That's good work by Kelly. He's forced the ball away back to the keeper. Butler knocks it long, looking for Lafayette. Is he offside? Manny Smith's troubling him. Roberts wins it and clears. John on the halfway line, heads it back on once more. Roberts is beaten to it in the air by Taylor. Wrexham claimed by a hand. Well, that should be a card then. In that case, because Taylor jumped ahead of Roberts and used his arm. Maybe it was just his flailing arm after he missed it. Anyway, nothing is given by the referee except the free kick. And Wrexham, well, maybe they got a chance to put something in the mix of themselves, or they haven't got a Ross Lafayette figure up there. Collinson will take the kick, about 35 yards out from his own goal, right-hand side. Holroyd is probably, I'd say, the more effective of the two strikers in the air. As Coddington drives it. Reed climbs, it's over him. Collins heads it clear. Carrington as well to put it back in there. Flicked on by Reed, but it's cleared by Bailey. Pearson volleys it on, looking for Rutherford. Does really well to flick it on behind the defenders. Collins as well to read that and knock it back to his keeper with his head. And the danger ends. Lively work by Rutherford. He's actually been one of Wrexham's better outlets so far in terms of getting it away. It's still 0-0. Butler, right-footed. Huge height and distance. Lafayette wrestling with Smith. They both miss out. Pearson heads it away. Keel Wright just beaten to it, though. Tommy Wright works it to the left-hand side. Taylor now. Inside. Wright pops it off again. Chance for a cross, perhaps. Walton rolls it down the line instead. Wrexham holding their shape in their own half and trying to deny space. On the right foot, it's swung in towards Wright, but Manny Smith wins that well. Now, can Kelly break? Good touch on the edge of his area. Extends down the line. Bailey comes across to him. Kelly works it backwards to Jennings. There's players over on the far side. Jennings has seen them. Looks to play the diagonal towards Rutherford. He just underhits it, though. And Thomas is able to head it clear. Lucky that, wasn't it?
Very lucky, but, great vision by Jennings to see the players over on the far side. Wonderful diagonal pass. Unfortunately, Rutherford's not the tallest chap in the world, so Bill was unlucky to get a block. But what I noticed before is Kelly's got fantastic turn of pace. I don't think I've really seen many games where he has actually done these. As Holroyd breaks free, and he's got Reed in the box. Kelly's in support. He's going to cross the ball in. It's a goal! Ken scores! Holroyd squared the ball across. Alex Reed miscued his feet, I think, tumbled, and Marcus Kelly there, completely unmarked. All he had to do was slot it into the back of the net. Couldn't miss. Wrexham 1-0.
Well, great work by Holroyd. Bursting down the right-hand side. He had a bit of luck. It was a brilliant turn by him to flick it past his man. We had a little bit of luck. It wasn't defended in the near post when he drove it in, but it fell to Kelly 8 yards out, and he could barely miss Marcus Kelly's first goal for Wrexham. It just ricocheted to him from Holroyd's cross. 8 yards out, the ball rolling nicely across him, and the keeper helpless. And Kelly couldn't help but hit the net. And Wrexham, well, in a game like this where chances are few and far between, that's a very, very precious lead, isn't it, Harry?
That's a very, very big goal there for Wrexham. Fantastic work. This game, we haven't scored a lot of goals from open play there, but that was as beautiful as break as you get. Holroyd, beautiful to pick up the ball. Very, wonderful run. Cross the ball. I think Reed I think it might have been aimed for him, but the ball was behind him. And then, unfortunately, Kelly, as I was talking about him, got into the box, and it was pretty much an open goal almost. Couldn't miss.
And Wrexham have gone out well on the flanks. That's been where the counters have happened. As Wrexham under pressure now, until Pearson hacks it away to the halfway line. Collins nods it down to poor header. Rutherford picks up halfway line. Now, Wrexham on the break once more. Rutherford's to run at his man. Taking him on. He's got an option wide. He uses it. It's Reid, level the edge of the area. Reid back into midfield. Roberts, square to Carrington. Wrexham got Sutton deep for once and move it around in midfield. Wrexham now, for the first time, looking to impose their style of play. Kelly, 30 yards out, left-hand side. Jennings, early ball. That's a nice idea, but Reid hadn't read it, and it's cleared. Akil Wright beaten to us in the air by Moses. It's picked up on half end. Lafayette, dreadful ball, gives it away. So it's free kick, throw into Wrexham, beg your pardon. 30 yards out, left-hand side. At Lafayette then just receiving it, trying to toe poke it back to the right back. He wasn't there. So Jennings, taking his time, just juggles the ball a couple of times, wanders up the line, throws it in, touched by Kelly, back to Jennings. He drives it into Kelly's midriff. That's a throw to, well, I thought to Sutton. Yeah, it was. Jennings acting like he was trying to usher out for a Wrexham throw, but Jennings clearly thumped it into Kelly's stomach. So the throw goes Sutton's way on the halfway line, right-hand side. Jennings then, learning from Geisley a fortnight ago, picks the ball up and wanders away and drops it 20 yards away from where the throw should be. And it's Downer with the throw. Wrexham 1, Sutton 0 here in the 21st minute. The race goes. Downer gets the ball back from right. Works it backwards, driven over the top. Lafayette backing into Manny Smith. Gets it brilliantly to win that. Kelly beaten to it by Tommy Wright, but Akil Wright picks up the loose ball. Jennings drives it over the top, looking for Reid, who gets up but is beaten by John. Loose ball in the middle of the pitch. Aswad Thomas helps it on. Manny Smith tries to find Kelly, but can't. Bailey now. Clever little ball over to the left-hand side. Brilliantly read by Rutherford. Excellent attitude. Nipped it away from Aswad Thomas. Roberts nicks it long. Reid jumping. Jumps too high. Claims he was pushing it back. He wasn't. And it goes through to Butler. This relentless pace of this game continues. Butler knocks it long. Lafayette backing in. Lafayette flicks it on well. But Emmanuel beaten to it by Pearson. Headed away by Collins. And Sutton will begin again. Bailey digging out a long ball towards the left flank. Flicked on well by Taylor. But Manny Smith's quicker than Lafayette. Heavy touch by Smith, though. He's managed to keep it in, though. Carrington helps it on. Taken well by Holroyd on the halfway line. But he's not got the strength to hold on to it. Bailey shifts it across. Right. Oh, great tackle by Akil Wright on Tommy Wright. You had to time that right, because he really speared in, but he won it very clearly. Kelly now. That's a nice idea down the flank. Reid won't quite get to it, though. And it'll bounce through for the goal kick. But Akil Wright's tackle, that's what gets the crowd going, isn't it?
So far this season, Akil Wright has been one of my underrated players of the season, because every game he has about 5 of those challenges, and 9 times out of 10 he gets them right, and it's just beautiful to see him go sliding, especially, it's drizzling at the moment, so the pitch is, pretty damp, so he can go sliding in like that. The thing is, he's quite tall, I think he's quite lanky, I think he's got like pipe cleaners for legs, because he's just so he managed to just slide in there, and it just always seems to work. But yeah, fantastic challenge by Akil Wright there.
Carrington wins an excellent header. No, Holroyd could have played Reid through there. Squares it to Kelly, who's got space. He pokes Reid, then left hand side. Rutherford marks in the middle. Reid tries to cross it in for him, but hits the first defender. And then Tommy Wright does really well to evade Jennings, and then does badly in giving it away. Carrington, who's darted well, works over to the right-hand side to Roberts. Roberts comes narrow. Holroyd's dropped off. Holroyd 35 yards out, driving forwards. Thinks about a long-range shot. That would have been madness. And sensibly, he doesn't. And Wrexham are working it around well now. In midfield, Jennings now. Kelly is short. Jennings plays it to Akil Wright, who pops it back to Pearson. Wrexham making Sutton work. In the end, Pearson has to go back to the keeper. But it was patient work by Wrexham there. There was just a possibility it would open up, and Holroyd broke forwards. Collington is in no rush at all. He's going to force Lafayette to come to him to make him kick it. He knocks it long now. Reid backing into Collins. We're not going to get much in the air out of these guys, and Collins gets underneath it and then forces Reid to jump too soon, and it bounces through to the keeper. Butler, right-footed, looking for Lafayette, and there's permanent battle with Smith, and Manny Smith again wins it well, but Bailey keeps picking up those loose balls in midfield, pokes it forwards. Manny Smith intercepts, and Carrington does well to control it as it's drilled towards him. Holroyd again can't quite hang on to it. Good tackle on him. Free throw into Wrexham, just short the halfway on right-hand side. Carrington's nipping in well and winning things in midfield, isn't he?
Yeah, I think him and Wright are working well. Carrington's sort of a more offensive option, whereas Wright's a more defensive option, which I like that balance in midfield. I think when you play 2 very defensive players in midfield, it doesn't really work, and you lose a lot of the creativity. So Carrington is a great outlet there to get balls forward out to the wings or to the striker. So yeah, he's playing quite well at the moment.
Hook Knocked over the top by Carrington. Holroyd's on the chase, but John just managed to block him off and give Collins enough time to get to the ball. And then he plays a back pass. The keeper tries to chip a return and puts it straight into the seats. That's sloppy from Butler. You know, they're set up to knock the ball long, and there he is, the keeper, trying to play something dainty in his own penalty area. And it's a throw to Wrexham at the edge of the box as the Tumba Masanka starts to warm up. Comes out the bench immediately, claps the Wrexham fans who return the applause. Popular figure, thrown into Holroyd. Great touch to hold on to that. Terrific pressure on him, but he's still got it. That's great work. He has to go back into midfield. Akil Rice back to the halfway line. Pearson. Jennings has dropped off, but Pearson has drills it, looking for Reed. John intercepts. Thumps it deep into Wrexham's half. Manny Smith is there. The intensity of Sutton's pressure just waned since the goal. Wrexham just starting to move it around a bit better. Oh, and I say that. Carrington with a really sloppy pass to Roberts, throw into Sutton. 10 yards into Wrexham's half, taken quickly, but a good foot in by Roberts. It spins back to Aswad Thomas, who wanted to go out of play, but it didn't, so he dinks it down the line. Taylor to Walton. It's a hideous looping hoop up in the air, and it's hooked away by Roberts. Reed down to Carrington, who tries to knock it forwards early, but Holroyd had dropped off as well as Reed, so Sutton have time on the ball in their own half now. 26th minute here on Calon FM. It's Wrexham 1, Sutton United 0. Wrexham leading the league leaders through that Marcus Kelly goal. And a game which, well, like I said at the start of the game, you know what sort of match it's going to be. Sutton knocking it long, and Wrexham trying to get it down. Wrexham knock it long, and it's got all the way through to Butler. Reed is chasing him. Butler hits a rather flat kick, flicked on by Walton. Pearson heads it away into midfield. It bobbles about. Walton has used his strength. So does Holroyd. Holroyd is penalised. Wrexham frustrated because, well, the opposite, because the free kick has gone Wrexham's way. And Akil Rice had picked it up and surged through and was running at the last defender, and the referee pulled play back for a free kick to Wrexham in the centre circle. Great minds think alike. Harry and I just both checked the live table, and as things stand, Wrexham are top of the table. Free kick in midfield. Kelly stands over it. All the other teams equal of Wrexham are drawing, it seems. So Kelly, hands on hips, waits for the go-ahead. Free kick in the middle of the pitch. And the referee gives the go-ahead and then suddenly changes his mind. He remembers that Sean Pearson's playing and there's likely to be some argy-bargy. Turns to he and Lafayette. Gives them a lecture. Remember, you can ask us questions on hashtag AskWrexham. Hashtag ASKWXM. Here comes Kelly. Dinks it in towards the edge. Manny Smith tries to flick it on. Doesn't get enough on it. Puts it up in the air. Akil Wright wins it well. Pearson jumps. Creates a loose ball. Bailey volleys it to the halfway line. Comes down from a great height. Well won by Roberts. That's excellent. But Pearson puts it up in the air. Now he'll have to do the same. Well, he's barged blatantly in the back by Wright. Free kick on the halfway line. Peter Wright, the referee. He's going to be kept busy today. We've got a Peter Wright who's the ref, and Akil Wright for Wrexham, and Tommy Wright for Sutton. So, and Harry Wright, of course, commentating. As Pearson, Wrexham are being quite cute running the clock down. Pearson leaves it for Carrington, and Wrexham just wasting a little bit more time. Sutton are holding a line a long way outside the box. Carrington stands over it. It's inviting the space in behind there. But difficult to get right, obviously, without it running behind for the goal kick. Carrington is directing the operations. Kelly drops on with someone from the training ground. Kelly drops off, whips it into the edge of the area. Reed flicks it on, heads a defender, goes to the corner. That was nicely worked by Wrexham, wasn't it?
Yeah, beautiful little training ground move there. You know, the great ball in to Reed there. Flicked, well, managed to get it flicked on for a corner. So, you know, Wrexham, beautiful tactic there. Obviously, Sutton with a very high line. I think the linesman had a lot to do there. Stecknell was offside, but yeah, great little sort of training ground tactic. As I think Rutherford is going to take the corner now. A few players in the box. Launches the ball in. Goes to Manny Smith at the far post, but and I think James Jennings just pulled one of the Sutton players there in the box, so it's given us a free kick. But yeah, a nice idea there, and Wrexham really sort of testing Sutton's defence.
Yeah, shame that. Swung into the edge 6-yard box, decent shape on it, but clear climbing. Free kick. Butler launches it long, and the bombardment resumes. Manny Smith, though, is having increasingly more success against Mid Lafayette. He gets it clear. Downer smashes it long. Taylor's after it. Well run by Jennings. Now Kelly has space in behind Downer. Burst down the left-hand side. Commits Downer. Pokes it to Reed. Reed holds it up. Back to Jennings. The early ball's a good one towards Holroyd in the hole. He turns, then goes backwards. Now Kelly's got options here. Carrington's got space ahead of him. Oh, and Kelly didn't see him. He's worked it over to the left-hand side now. Jennings, right-footed ball. Looking for Reed. Oh, it's got much too much on it. Asma Thomas could let that roll. He heads it away instead, and it's hooked further on in midfield by Emmanuel. Poor touch by Lafayette. Oh, but Roberts slips over. Well, that was a comical situation. Free kick in midfield to Sutton. Lafayette's touch was dreadful. Roberts beat him to it and then slipped on the wet turf and went straight through his legs. Lafayette's trying to make a drama of it, but I think the referee saw it for what it was. It was an accidental collision, wasn't it, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great tackle, but unfortunately he didn't even remotely have the ball. He has just slipped over there and slid into his man. He's obviously going to make the most of it, but it'd do well to get anything other than a free kick there from the ref, because he's just fallen over.
Yeah, Lafayette stayed down. There was nothing wrong with him. He was just trying to get Roberts into trouble, but Roberts just slipped. He just slipped and collided with Lafayette. It was comical free kick to give away, really. I'll say that. That's comical as long as Wrexham defend it okay. The keeper is taking it. It's about 20 yards into Sutton's half. Wrexham hold a line a long way outside the box. It's launched in towards the edge of the area, and it's bounced all the way through. It'll go through for a goal kick. It was a nasty little situation there. Sutton managed to get a couple of players in a position to challenge for it. It sucked a couple of defenders towards them, and they all got in each other's way, and it could have dropped anywhere off them, but it luckily evaded them all and went through for the goal kick, and Coddington will take it. 31st minute here on Calon FM. Still Wrexham 1, league leaders Sutton United 0. I say league leaders. If the final whistle round the country went now, Wrexham would be the league leaders. Coddington knocks it long. Holroyd jumps, pushed in the back, free kick. Uncalled for that by John. I think Holroyd is clever. He's an experienced striker. He jumped too soon because he knows if he needs to do something extraordinary to beat the centre-back. And he jumped too soon, knew he jumped too soon, felt a hand on his back and just made sure that he fell in a way that drew that to the ref's attention. I don't think it was very much of a contact on him. But Wrexham will take the free kick, and here's Rutherford to take it now. It's about 10 yards into Sutton's half. Again, they hold a line just outside the box. The referee again just having a little close look at the argy-bargy as Lafayette just barges into Pearson. Wrexham switch around the side of the fence, swung in towards Pearson, who's blocked off, and it goes through for the goal kick. So, Wrexham comes to nothing again, and it'll be Butler who'll spot the ball up. I'm enjoying the fluorescent lime green colours on his purple shirt, Harry.
You know what, at the start of the game when I first sort of saw him, I thought the very same thing. He's really nice and easy to spot and see his numbers. I think that's a good idea.
Taken, and Manny Smith's gone down holding his head from the aerial challenge. The ball's gone out for a throw to Wrexham. The crowd aren't happy the referee hasn't stopped play immediately because it's a head injury. And the ref's still looking at him and has told the physio, no, you're not needed. He's got up, Manny Smith. I do wonder. We saw the farcical situation in the last game at the racecourse where Guiseley wasted so much time, and Wrexham wasted a fair chunk of time at Tranmere as well. To be fair, they were down to 10 men. Can't have thinking we learned it. Well, I wouldn't say we learned a few lessons, Guiseley. This is a very experienced squad that Dean Keats has assembled, but we're certainly not ashamed of running the clock down, and we are already a little bit taking the sting out of things. Throw-in's taken, Sutton win it back, launch it long, Jennings as well to volley it clear because Tommy Wright blocked him off, or blocked his sight of the ball, should I say, jumping in front of him. Throw into Sutton, halfway line, right-hand side. Long way to go in this game, but Wrexham are really defending well, as they tend to. Holroyd pressuring well, forcing the ball back into the Sutton half. John squares it on. It's carried to the halfway line by Collins, the other centre-back, who launches it up towards Bailey. He's flicked it on, right, chest it down, Lafayette, poor touch. He handled it as well. Free kick to Wrexham again. An advantage might have been nice because Kelly had broken away, but on that occasion, more difficult to give the advantage, I think. Isn't the deliberate handball the yellow card, Harry? I thought that, he's controlled it to try and get a shot off.
Listen, it was only about 2 weeks ago that I learned what offside was, so I'm joking, of course. But maybe it's at the ref's discretion. I'm not sure. I'll get out the rules of the game in a minute. The big book. I'm sure it probably says in there, Article 5, Section 3, handballs.
Akil Wright wins it well. Holroyd, was he fouled? No, he nearly got the ball wide as he fell to Rutherford. Akil Wright again with a good tackle. Tommy Wright's hassling Roberts. Roberts is strong. Holds him off on the halfway line. Finds Manny Smith. Manny Smith, oh, it's unnecessary. He's taken on Tommy Wright and hasn't got away with it. He nearly flicked it clear. Carrington's managed to tidy up, though. Important work, that, from Carrington. A rare moment of embroidery from Manny Smith there, who, after he lost the ball, tried a back heel over his own head to retrieve it and get past his man, and that failed too, as Sutton tried to pass it around to the back, and it rolls into Downer's foot for the throw to Wrexham. 10 yards into the Sutton half, left-hand side. Jennings up to take it. It's got Reed making a run down the line. Kelly offers two. Jennings is in no rush to take it. Looks for Reed. Good put in by Downer. Jennings, nice touch back to Akil Wright. But his touch is heavy. Taylor tackles him. Jennings gets a foot back in. But Emmanuel pokes it wide. Down in Taylor. Breaking on the right-hand side. Carrington tracking him. Carrington gets ahead of him. That's excellent work by Carrington. He's drilled it out to play. Again, good cover play by Carrington. He's getting ahead of his man. Throw to Sutton. Taken quickly by Downer. They've left out Spence. He's on the bench. And he's the right back with a really long throw. So they've thrown it back into midfield. Collins uses his strength to hold off Holroyd. Sutton tries to pass it down the back. Roberts, great tackle on Lafayette. He's got it back though now. Lafayette, 30 yards out, goes back into his own half. Slightly dangerous pass. That Reed nearly got to it. It's not long by the centre-back John. Jennings heads it clear. Loose ball between Ademola and Akil Wright. Akil Wright fighting away, wins it back well. And Pearson clumps it clear again. Good fighting spirit from this Wrexham team. Butler carries it a long way out of the box. Knocks it long. Lafayette against Manny Smith. They're both wrestling with each other. As a result, they both miss out on it. Held up by Aswad Thomas, who pops it back. Tommy Wright's shot is blocked by his own man, I think, and spins out. Walton slings a wild ball to the right. It's a good one, though, to be fair. He's picked out his man, but Matt Kelly beats him beautifully. Beats another man. Great burst this by Kelly, and he spreads it to Rutherford. Excellent play. Now then, Wrexham opens Sutton up. Rutherford's running at his man, Collins, who has to come out from the middle. Stands him across the far post. Holroyd heads it wide. Tremendous counter-attack by Wrexham.
Fantastic counter-attack. You know, Kelly, he beat one man, he beat another man, and I think he somewhat beat himself. Launched the ball to Rutherford, who carried on the good work. Great cross into Holroyd, who did, in all fairness, get his head on it, but the angle wasn't quite right, and it went wide, and it went out for a goal kick. But fantastic pace on the wings from Wrexham. I think Dean has obviously seen that. He's seen sort of footage of Sutton's previous games, known that perhaps they're not the quickest team in the world, which I think you can see here that they're not the quickest, and just absolutely obliterating them on the pace on the wings, and it's just working so well.
Wrexham pressing hard, forcing it back to the keeper. This is very disciplined. 38th minute, Wrexham 1, Sutton 0. Hell of a physical examination this for Wrexham, and they are really applying themselves to it. As first Manny Smith wins ahead of it, and it comes back in. Jennings makes a good interception, slots it down the side. Wrexham keeps trying to release Reed like that. He's not getting him behind his man though, and it's not long by John, and that will test Pearson, and Pearson passes the test, beating Taylor to it, thrashing it out for a throw, level edge A, right hand side. It's a typical game against a long ball team because there's not many chances. I mean, noting down the highlights of the game, I've written two things down: the goal and that counter attack. But that's how it goes against long ball teams. It's still fast paced, it's still tight, and they have the capacity to keep working away to erode you and create those chances. Throw in comes in, flicked on, but Codrington will take that. Well, perfect long throw move until the flick on. Look, good throw by Downer, great flick and a great run by Collins, but nobody ran in for the second ball as Wrexham again shout for a foul for a push in Reed's back, not given. But Akil Wright picks up, good ball. Holroyd left hand side. Now then, his options as he comes inside. Rutherford's come narrow as well. Holroyd, that's a great run. Rutherford's beat it in the goal mouth, and Reed can't quite get to it. That was tremendous play by Wrexham. Holroyd tips it back in. Reed just wide. Wonderful run by Rutherford. Real intelligent play by Holroyd to pick him out. The first ball in just beyond Reed, and then Holroyd continued his run, popped up on the other flank, chipped it up, and Reed attacked it and couldn't quite put it on target. Lovely invention from Wrexham.
Yeah, I mean, the first attack was a brilliantly worked move. Unfortunately, didn't quite come off. Kept the ball in, had another bite of the cherry, which, again, was possibly even closer. But, fantastic. I think Kelly, Rutherford and Holroyd are just having so much fun out there, it almost seems like, because Sutton's back line. Oh, that's a big mistake from the keeper there. A very dangerous pass then from, I think it was Aswad Thomas, and Butler had to sort of dive for that, because otherwise he would have gone straight out for a corner. That was a bit embarrassing, but yeah, Sutton's back line's not the most technical, not the fastest in the world, you know, very simple, get it away from the goal football, basically. So creative players like Kelly, or Kelly especially, he just seems to be having so much fun using his pace and his ability to just cause absolute chaos in their back line.
Ball by Butler, Jennings attacks it, which is pushed in the back, nothing given. Lafayette again, wrestling with Smith. That's got to be a foul, not given. Tommy Wright running the last defender. He's got a chance to hit this now. Back heels it, Jennings covers superbly and gets the ball down. Oh, now he's overrun it in the box and lost it. And it's picked up on the right by Taylor, who pokes it in towards the corner of the box. Taylor again, chance to cross, and it shows that Jennings. Good tackle. Comes to Bailey. He could hit this. Swings it in, and instead it hits Carrington and spins behind for the corner. Sutton are asking for handball. Well, my view of that was that Carrington jumped with his arms up, and the ball was driven into his midriff about hip height. So, if it can be handball just because you put your hands up, I don't know. Strange sight 30 yards out from Wrexham goal. Corner to Sutton, and Sutton's keeper is 30 yards out from Wrexham's goal, getting his laces tied. I understand that in that he's got his gloves on. Seems weird he's got to come all the way, well, he has to, I suppose, all the way into Wrexham's half to get his laces done. He's only retreated just beyond the centre circle now. As Sutton prepare a corner, they're good from set pieces. Wrexham need to be disciplined. Lots of bodies outside the 6-yard box. It's swung to the near post. Good header away by Carrington. Shot comes in, well blocked by Holroyd. Reed wins a good header. Rutherford on the chase. Oh, the backspin doesn't help him, but he's found Reed running at the last defender from the halfway line. He's got options at left. He's tackled. Holroyd can't quite get to the loose ball, and it spins through to Butler, the keeper. Goodness me, that was a good break there. Shame it fell to Reed so close to the Wrexham goal. He had a long way to carry, and he looked up. He saw the pass, but he couldn't quite deliver it before the tackle came in. A huge tackle on Reed. Otherwise, Sutton could have been in all sorts of trouble. Butler knocks it long because this game's worn on. Wrexham's game plans work. They've been patient, they've been solid, and they're getting more and more opportunities to play the game they want to play. As Carrington is fouled on the edge of the Wrexham area. That was a poor challenge, that, and you wonder whether the ref should look at a card. He came through the back of Carrington as he was jumping for a header from behind. So for me, Harry, that ought to be a yellow card to Bolton, really.
Yeah, it was a bit of a aggressive lump there on Carrington. He's been flattened more or less there, but Wrexham, their game plan, as you said, as the game's gone on, has come more and more to us. You can really see, just use the pace on the wings, and then use Holroyd and Reed as sort of a battering ram through the middle. And the Sutton defence they can't really do anything about it. If the ball's along the ground, we completely nullified them, because obviously their main sort of feature is strength and height. So if you use, little technique to get past them, they're completely scuppered, and they've run out of options then. And the more chances you create like that, the better chance, for a bit of luck, we could have been 2 or 3 goals up as the ball forced to Kelly again. Alex Reed's in the box. Oh, he's tried to cross it. It's been deflected out by a corner by John, but that was another go. The minute the ball gets to Kelly, the poor Sutton defence must be terrified, thinking, oh God, we've got a job to do now, because he's going to run straight past us.
Wrexham have been excellent down the flanks. Rutherford as well has been excellent. They've had real outlets, and they've had to work for that. First 20 minutes, it wasn't happening much, but they've worked hard at getting out down the flanks, and it's worked terrifically well. Here's a corner and left hand side. Kelly picks it up on the right-hand side. He's got a Taylor tracking him. Kelly gets on his left foot and ricochets away from his man. Swings in a nasty cross, Bolton heads thrown to Wrexham 15 yards out right-hand side. Kelly has really been impressive today down that left-hand side. He's been lined, inventive. He scored the goal. He's an outlet. But he and Rutherford really are successfully taking the game to Sutton as Roberts goes across to take the throw-in. He's got Holroyd and Rutherford lurking together, ready to split and offer targets. Rutherford goes first, then Holroyd. Roberts finally releases to Holroyd. He brings it down and is tackled. Oh, it's come off Holroyd last as well. Pardon me. Throw into Sutton. 25 yards out.
from their own goal. You can ask us any questions. Hashtag ASKWXM as Wrexham win it back. It's Jennings now. Jennings in his own half on his left foot. Oh, it's a sloppy pass by him. Picked up in midfield by Walton, but Akil Wright works ever so hard to try and pressure him. And as a result, it goes all the way back to Butler, and the pressure diminishes. Butler knocks it long. Jennings climbs, heads it clear to the halfway line. Put forwards once more. Lafayette brings it down neatly back to goal, 10 yards out. He's got Manny Smith scrapping with him as he has throughout. He managed to dig out across to the edge of the area, pop backwards. This is dangerous. Tommy Rice has a chance to hit it. Great block by Pearson. Lunging in. Rice hit him from the edge of the D, and Pearson had blocked it aggressively. Big hoof forwards to the edge of Wrexham's area. Flicked on by Emmanuel. Good work by Roberts, who got a foot into it. Lovely touch by Carrington to kill the ball dead. And he feeds the ball in behind the defence. Reed chases. Forces the back pass. There'll be 1 added minute. Butler brings them all forwards. Hits it through the middle. Pearson wins that terrifically well. Lafayette asks for a free kick. Not given. Knocked long once more. Brought down by Taylor on the right. He feeds it back. Wrexham need to dig in here. 30 seconds left. Down his first ball, blocked by Kelly. His second ball is to Taylor. Jennings gets it first, and Kelly hacks it clear. John, deep in his own half, winds himself up. Plays it short instead. Bailey, wicks the ball inside. Maybe not realising Holroyd is so close to him. Got away with it, and now Collins clears it halfway line. 15 seconds of the half left. Driven towards the penalty spot. Pearson jumps. Lafayette beats him to it. Roberts, good header. Heads it partly clear. It's worked down the line. Taylor, last chance to put something in the Wrexham box. Back to Bailey, who sets himself, taking on Kelly, clips a nice little ball to the near post. Emmanuel tries to lay it off. Pearson tackles him, and that is half time. And the fans are on their feet. Wrexham have gone toe to toe with the side who are top of the table, and they are doing well. The half-time score here on Calon FM is Wrexham 1, Sutton United 0. Well, Harry, where do we begin? That was okay. The classic example of long ball team against a side that wants to pass it more. You're going to have spells when we can't get out. There's going to be spells when they impose their style of play. And I think it's fair to say probably the first 15, 20 minutes were exactly that, weren't they?
I think definitely. You know, the attacking sort of play of Sutton really pegged Wrexham back, and they couldn't do much. But I think if you appreciate that as a fan and accept that, okay, this is how they're going to play, so Wrexham have to counter that, then when we do get our chances, it's almost so much more satisfying. If Wrexham just went for the attack immediately, we'd be destroyed, because the ball would just go straight over the midfield, the wingers wouldn't get anything, and we'd probably just concede a goal or two by now. But the fact that we've gone, you know, at the start of the game, every single Wrexham player, you know, the strikers, wingers, everyone, were back in Wrexham's area, you know, defending from the Sutton assault, and we repelled it easily. And you know, when you actually look at it, Sutton really didn't have many chances at all. They had a couple of sort of blocked shots, but that's about it. But coming back from that, when Wrexham get forward, just quite incredible. I mean, maybe it's always better to sort of watch a game when you're leading. It's always more enjoyable. But we just look fantastic running forwards. We just look the better team. You know, there's no two ways around it. And obviously Sutton, they're still dangerous. We still had a couple of close shaves. But defensively, we've been fantastic. Midfield's been fantastic. And offensively, been fantastic. You know, so far, this has been, you know, a perfect game from my point of view. Obviously, I don't know what the fans, you know, how they've been feeling about it. But I've just been loving seeing, you know, Rutherford and Kelly especially, I've just been causing so much trouble all afternoon. And it's just been beautiful to watch so far.
I mean, it has, and you got to earn the right to play against a side like this. And as you rightly said, we've earned that right by defending so well. I mean, the back four. Okay, I don't want to be naive. Defending's not just about your back four; it's about you as a unit. But I will say that the back four are going to take a bombardment here, and they've dealt superbly well, haven't they? Aerially and on the floor when they've had to make tackles.
Yeah, I mean, Dean Keats, I remember him saying right at the before, you know, the season begun, he wanted players that had a lot of character and a lot of spirit. And that's a bit of a cliche, and everyone says something to that effect. But he's done it. This team seems to be completely unafraid to get stuck into any challenge. Like, a lot of players, and I think a lot of people, just in general, me included, like, if someone blasted the ball at you, you dive out the way. But these, the Wrexham team on the pitch at the moment just don't care. Like, they'll just get in the way of the shot and just carry on as nothing was wrong. And then defensively, flying into tackles. I think Pearson's had a good few. Akil Wright, he loves a good sliding challenge. Kevin Roberts accidentally tackled someone. But, the sort of character of the team at the moment, in this game especially, I think if Dean Keyes went to every game and just say, play like you have played now. And if you played like that all the time, obviously different teams will have different tactics, so this won't always work. But if you do the same thing you've done here, you'll always do well. Because this is, the game plan is working quite nicely for us.
Absolutely. I was thinking as well, I mean, a player who's been left out of the team and come back in, Kevin Roberts at right back, who I had some criticism from fans at first. I felt a bit harsh. I've always been quite impressed with him. But I will admit, he is very much a defensive fullback. He's an old-fashioned fullback. He's not like the sort of players that Guardiola wants to bring into City, because the fullbacks are your wide attacking options. He is a fullback who defends his right-back area. But this sort of game is perfect for him, because he has to just defend as if his life depends on it. And he's done it ever so well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been fantastic for me so far. I think the pre-season friendly at Nantwich was his first game. And obviously, we didn't actually win that, but he impressed me there and then with his, immediately made a difference. But it is one of those games like Pearson, he's great at right back and he does have these fantastic passes, but I think Pearson is quite happy to get up the pitch himself and sort of operate as a wing back. But Roberts, definitely, he just sort of said, you're not going past me down this side, and it's just worked really well. And Sutton really have struggled down the wings this afternoon, and I think it's because of that. Both Jennings as well. I've just said, no, you're not going through this way. You're going to have to go through the middle. And then, obviously, Smith and Pearson have gone, no, you're not going through this way either. So, we're really making life difficult for Sutton at the moment.
And then, like I said, I admit I was naive, just pointing out to the back four when we're talking defensively. There's much more to it than that. Well, the two central midfields in front, I mean, you might be worried a game like this. You might really want to have Wedgbury in there because, of course, he's got that mobility and he's got the aggression. He likes to win the ball. As you saw last Saturday, maybe he likes to win the ball a bit too much sometimes. But Carrington and Akil Wright, I think, were excellent in the opening stages in terms of breaking things up and protecting the back four. And they've also, I think, done well as we managed to open the game up in terms of bringing the ball out, especially Carrington, and starting counters.
Definitely Akil Wright. I mean, I said this earlier during the match. He's been my underrated best player of the season, because he doesn't really catch your eye in midfield, but he seems to do an awful lot. He's great at winning the ball back, ball winning midfielder, tackling and winning the ball back that way. But he's great on sort of creating attack. He's more technical, I think, than he kind of lets on, because you just see him launching into a tackle and you think, oh, he just does that, and then he does this great pass or a great flick on past someone, and he's just very good in that regard. And then Carrington as well, he's very experienced at his level. He's played for Wrexham for quite a few years now, so he kind of knows his level as well. And he plays, a similar way, less on the sort of the aggressive tackling side, more of a creative player. But defensively, Carrington, he can play a right back as well, so it's not like he's unaccustomed to doing that sort of thing. But it's been a fantastic game from both the midfielders so far.
Well, there's we had an Ask Wrexham question from Glyn Thomas. Hi, Glyn. And he says, Wrexham top of the league after 12 and a half games. Can we finish here? I wouldn't mind if the season finished here, to be honest. If I can add a little bit to his question, Harry, as well, I think maybe what we should consider, realistically, where can Wrexham finish? I know it's a bit early to say. I felt all along I'd be very disappointed if we didn't end up in the playoffs, especially now it's extended to 7. But I'm not surprised to see us up here. And I feel, like we said before the match, that there's room to develop with us and improve, which there probably isn't with some of the other teams around us. So I'm hopeful about that. I don't know. I mean, I think that the issue for us, perhaps,
is going to be the Guiseley type games at the moment, because we're not naturally creative. I mean, if a team looks to defend against us, it's not playing into our strengths. Whereas a game like this, or Tranmere, hand-to-hand combat, we welcome that. We're physically strong, we're good defensively, and we're okay going toe-to-toe with someone. It's a sort of boxing analogy, if you like. We're sort of scruffy in-fighters, but hard to beat. But we're not necessarily somebody who's going to go out and get first-round knockouts, and we're not going to wipe the floor with somebody. That might be an issue. I think there will be times, even if we can close this game out, there'll still be times where we'll play games where people think, oh, that's a side we can have dominate because we're up near the top of the table, but it's hard to do so. But my attitude hasn't changed since before the season started. We're looking at this squad, I'd be very disappointed if we didn't at least end up in the playoffs, and I think top 5 rather than the top 7, personally.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously much more knowledgeable and experienced in Wrexham than me. After the first game against Macclesfield, I was just clinically depressed because we lost, and I just thought all that hype and ambition, and then we lost, and that was it, season over, we're going to get relegated. But as you said to me, you know, all the great seasons that we've had, we've like lost every game for like 2 months straight, and then we finished in the top half. We've done really well. And I think you were spot on there, and it annoys me so much that you were so right. Because I'm seeing it on the pitch. Yeah, but you're all right about sort of the smaller teams in air quotes. You know, the likes of Guiseley or someone like Solihull, or, you know, even not so much in this particular occasion, but someone like Sutton. You know, teams that have come up through the leagues, they're always going to play a specific way. Always going to come to Wrexham kind of defensively because they're just desperate for a result, and it does stop us a little bit. But it's kind of, I think, with the way this league is, it's always quite unpredictable. Some of these games, you can just take on the chin and say, okay, this is going to be hard for us, we might not win it. If we just accept that and say, but if we win all the others that we should win, you know, it doesn't matter if we, you know, slip up against someone like Guiseley. You just got to accept you're not going to win every game, but that doesn't mean you should just be completely defeatist either. You just, you know, accept what you can do. And I think playoffs is definitely, has always been the goal for me. As far as I've been watching Wrexham, I've only been here for a couple of years, but the playoffs has always like seemed like the goal. You know, not to outright win the league, but just finish in the playoffs and see what happens. And I think that is very much a realistic possibility this season, especially with these sort of our big rivals doing, you know, so poorly at the moment. Like Tranmere, obviously they're way down. You know, all the teams that have come down from the league above aren't doing particularly well at the moment. I mean, well, they're close, but you know, they're not smashing the league as you'd expect. And then all the big teams that gave us grief last season have gone. So, so we're in a prime position to have a very good season. I went on a big tangent there. I'm not sure where I went.
Well, you said about Wrexham starting seasons badly when they go up. I should have said, I'm not saying that's a guarantee we'll go up. Seasons we got relegated, we've started badly, I assure you. But if you look at the times we've actually gone up, so 69-70, let's see, out of our first 7 matches, we won 3. 5 of those are league games. So in the league, 1-2, drawn 2, lost 1. Hardly devastating, but then we go on a winning run, 5 wins in a row. You go back to the famous 77-78 season, which is, you know, the great season without parallel in Wrexham's history. Well, our opening results, 1 drawn, lost, drawn 1, drawn 1, lost. So after 10 games, we got 3 wins and 4 defeats. So again, you know, the slow start is, you know, it's inevitable that sides just look to get their rhythm going. And then the 92-93 season, actually, as I get it up in front of me, I thought I had the wrong season, and that was a horrific start. That's a relegation season. I looked at 82-83 by mistake. Yeah, you don't get promoted after a start like that. Beg your pardon. But this season, when they got promoted, so it was 1 lost, drawn 1, drawn, lost, draw. So the first 8 games, only 2 wins, but we got promoted. So I mean, you know, a fast start is not necessary, and Wrexham's history proves that. The 2002-03 season, when we got promoted in Dennis Smith, our last promotion season, we won 2 of the first 6 matches. Won 2, drawn 2, lost 2. And those 2 losses, one of them was 5-2 at home to Rochdale. So you don't have to fly early on. And I think that's what we've seen. We started solidly, and we're building, and that, I like that. And as you said, we're burning teams like Tranmere off a bit. I mean, we're what, 8 points clear of them now? I like that. I still think they'll come back at some point, but they've already got a big amount to come back at us. Now then, a question from Phil Cooper. Hi, Phil. On hashtag Ask Wrexham. Remember, keep the questions coming in. Hashtag ASKWXM. Do you think this is the ideal opposition long ball against our solid defence with little attacking flair? Yes. And I've got to say, because as Harry mentioned, I've been doing some scouting, opposition scouting leading up to our matches for Dean, and there's a lot of long ball teams at the top end of our table at the moment, and I agree. I don't know what you think, Harry, but I mean, obviously you don't know what happened in the second half here. You don't want to preempt that, but certainly in theory, teams that go long against us, we can handle ourselves physically, and we can handle ourselves in the air, can't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, especially with a team like Sutton, who seem quite regimented at the back. You know, you could see clearly the 4-4-2 as they're playing. And, you know, I'm not criticising the formation, but the defence, you know, they move as one unit. So, because of that, Kelly and I want to say Rashford then, Rutherford, are kind of almost allowed to do whatever they like on the wing. A lot of teams in this league are very pressing. You know, they will close down teams, close down players, and it makes it a nightmare for creative players. But a team like Sutton, who are quite static, we're just having a wonderful time against them on the wings, because they don't want to tear themselves apart and put holes in their defence. And that's kind of, in a way, somewhat proving to be a bit of a downfall for them, because we are just getting in behind them or just having free reign in front of their defence. So, there's sort of a level. You can't just be fully attack and fully creative, because you'll just get torn apart. But at the same time, I think with Sutton, if you're so fixed in your plan A, and someone like Wrexham shows up, maybe you need to tweak it a little bit.
I do strongly think that plan A is their plan. With Sutton, long ball's all they can do. They can make alterations within that. I've got to say as well that Sutton let a lot more goals in after the break. They press hard. If they go behind, they overcommit. You can do them on the break. Wrexham have been doing them on the break consistently in the first half, and you can definitely get success as we're about to start the second half. They've let in 16 goals this season. Kelly's only the 4th they've let in the first 39 minutes. 10 of the 16 in the second half. A third of all the goals they've let in the last 17 minutes. They press and they press. Maybe they tire. They certainly overcommit, perhaps. And you can get in behind them, as Wrexham have been showing, as Wrexham restart, attacking against towards their home fans, and Sutton immediately head it out of play, throw into Wrexham. 10 yards into the Sutton half, left-hand side. Keep the questions coming. We'll pick them up during commentary on Ask Wrexham, hashtag ASKWXM, as Kelly wins the ball back, works it backwards, is fed down the line. It's not a bad idea towards Reed, but John is there to thrash it clear. Kelly, forthright headers at the edge of the Sutton area. Bailey heads it away. Carrington covers well, heads it up wide. It'll go out for a throw to Sutton just inside the Wrexham half, right hand side. Taylor wants to take it quickly, but problem for him is his teammates haven't kept up with him, so he leaves it in the end. So Downer, the right back, hurls it back into his own half. But also he pointed out, of course, that stat that has to end sometime. Wrexham's never conceded in the second half this season. We'll take that extension of that record as Thomas works down. Sutton passing around a little bit more at the moment. Fed backwards to Collins. Collins will go long. Knocks it. Look it well. Lafayette will chase after that. It wasn't a good ball. Manny Smith gets rid of it. Picked up by Emmanuel. Cutting him from the left flank. Pinged the ball towards Lafayette. Gives him little chance. He's done well to get a foot to it. Spins out wide. And again, Emmanuel's sharp to get to the loose ball. By the corner flag. Roberts keeping tight to him. Doesn't want to give him a chance to cross. So he feeds it at the edge of the area, where Carrington's presence makes Asbad Thomas lose it. Manny Smith clears. Sutton got us pegged in for the moment, though. When you have to have a little spell of pressure to endure. Not for long, perhaps. Roberts gets rid of it. But the second ball will come back in again. Emmanuel, who started out the second half wide on the left, again will take on Roberts. He comes inside. Roberts, good foot in. And it's picked up by Carrington. Now, chance to break. Carrington asking for movement. Reed doesn't make much of a run for him. Carrington does well to hold on to it and play it down the flank. Rutherford chasing Collins, will just beat him to it. Fed back to the keeper. Rutherford chases him. Good ball out this time by the keeper. Portage pass with Thomas. Holroyd tackles now. 2 men against in the box for him. Thomas recovers and Holroyd has to hold on to it. Kelly, cute little attempt to flick it round the corner. Big put in by Bailey as he slid on the turf, or Holroyd would have been in. Good break again by Wrexham. Lovely ball by Carrington to start it. Manny Smith wins a great header when it's played wrong. That's, again, an encouraging start. Same pattern as the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Dean Keys, he's probably not had too much to say in half-time other than, keep doing what you were doing, basically. He's obviously pointing out little threats here and there, but Wrexham's game plan works very well in the first half, and they've just got to make sure they maintain the concentration defensively in the second half and make sure they keep up what they were doing. I think, obviously, Sutton will change their plan a bit as Collins gets stuck into Holroyd there. But, yeah, Wrexham just got to keep doing what they were doing, really.
Ball in by Bailey, but Wright getting between Robertson. Smith can't get any leverage on the ball and heads it a long way wide. Unlucky that tackle on Holroyd, because Reed made a good run behind the defence. Holroyd saw him and he was just swinging his foot around to play the through ball. And a terrific tackle denied him. Been a scrap out there. There's not been many chances created at all. But Wrexham gone toe-to-toe with a top-of-the-table team. That's not easy to say. I didn't know I was going to say that to look at it. And doing well. Long kick by Coddington, the goal kick. It's well won in the air. Unlucky that for Reed, who got ahead to it, but he can't keep it in. Throw it, which Downer will take. You look down the line. Lafayette's demanding it, and then he throws it narrow. Walton, poor touch. He's lucky. Collins is close and hits it long. Manny Smith commits it, misses out. He's danger now. Lafayette into Tommy Wright, and he gets a great tackle from Roberts. It rolls behind for the goal kick. Roberts, brilliant work on the cover, just to put the pressure on him and force Wright to put it wide.
Yeah, it was a great last-ditch sort of tackle there by Kevin Roberts. Definitely needed, because it was through on goal, but bit of a mistake there by Manny Smith, sort of headed it backwards, not what he wanted to do. But that's what I'm saying about concentration. We've just got to make sure keep, obviously, little mistakes like that to the absolute bare minimum, because all it needs is a little mistake like that, and they can quite easily score if we really saw that. But yeah, close chance there for Sutton.
Holroyd tries to tackle in the Sutton half. The ricochet falls for Taylor, who comes narrow and tries to drive in the end down the left-hand side. Akil Wright comes across to him. Taylor left the edge of the area, works it wide. Lafayette tries to poke it inside, manages to get through the challenge from Akil Wright and work it back to Bailey, 25 yards out on his left foot. He pokes it into a crowded area. Roberts is there, and Roberts clears straight to Collins on the halfway line. Holroyd comes to close him down. Collins down the line. Dangerous ball. It's Emmanuel cutting inside, then outside Manny Smith. Smith stays on his feet and stops him from crossing, though. It's poked instead to Taylor, and it's forced out to the corner flag, as with Thomas. Works it back, chance to cross from Collins. No, Reed's done brilliantly to tackle, but it falls to Taylor, left-hand side. Taylor taking on Roberts. Neat little ball inside. Head back to Taylor. Roberts tackles it well now. Counter-act some break. Holroyd spreads to the left-hand side. Kelly only has Reed ahead of him. Works it down the flank. Jennings on the overlap. Isolated. Hits it down the line and tries to chase it. Shows too much of that to Downer. His back pass interests Jennings and Reed, but Butler gets there first and smashes it away. It's Lafayette backing into Pearson. He's done well, the big man, and he goes down, and Pearson will get a card for that. Lafayette slightly quicker than he looks, and he got pulled down by Pearson. The Wrexham's skip will be booked.
Yeah, I think he tried to beat him on pace there and didn't quite get it, so had to barge into him more or less. But as you said, it's a bit of a clumsy challenge there. The ref has got a yellow card out at the moment. He's waving it around all over the place. I'm assuming he's been booked, but yeah, I mean, it was a good move before that by sort of Jennings and Holroyd to link up there. Jennings slightly overhit the ball, tried to pass it on to himself and get past his man, but this is, again, the sort of pace on the wing is causing trouble for Sutton.
Free kick then to Sutton, 35 yards out right-hand side, and Asvan Thomas will take it. Wrexham will send 2 men up to the halfway line to draw bodies out from the box. Thomas gets the go-ahead. Lots of huge players in the box to aim at. Swings it in towards them. Headed away well by Akil. Great save by Coddington. Tremendous strike by Taylor. Coddington got to his left and parried it away to the flank. Thomas again with a cross. Nasty ball headed over by John. 6 yards out, he attacked it. But Manny Smith saw him, went shoulder to shoulder in the air and put him off balance. Good block by Coddington.
Fantastic block. I mean, I think that's probably the first thing he's probably properly had to do all day, really. But coming to his own there, you know, Coddington is well known by the Wrexham fans. He played a bit for us last season. Great keeper and great stop there by him, because that was a beautiful shot there. And Sutton, they've come out of the second half dangerous, but they did that in the first half as well. And, you know, you wonder if they're just trying to rush us and get a goal quickly before they tire out.
Started the half. Wells Holroyd turns his man. He's penalised. Referee said he fouled John, who's gone down holding his head. Looks innocuous to me. There was a bouncing ball. Holroyd was backing into him, and then seemed to turn him. And you think, well, maybe he's making a back for him, but I can't see how John got hurt. The referee has had a look at him and said no need for the physio, and he's not speaking to Holroyd, so he's not terribly interested in it. Yeah, it was a good save by Coddington. He is speaking to Holroyd now, the ref, by the way, but just talking to him. And Taylor really struck it well through a crowded penalty area. Coddington did well to get across and parry it away. But Sutton have started the second half well, much better than they did in the last 20 of the first half. Wrexham, again, being tested, need to stand up to this. Butler with a free kick. Launches it long. Target is Thomas. He nods it down well. Helps him by Lafayette. Right, great tackle by Smith. Tremendous tackle. Now then, can Wrexham break? Rutherford back to Roberts on the edge of his area. Two strikers are up there. It's driven long. Reed in the air against John. John gets a foot into it. Reed wins the second ball. Well, referee goes to give a foul against Reed, then doesn't. And then when Carrington goes for it, Thomas studs up. Bailey is still down from Reed's challenge, which looked innocuous to me, I've got to say. The physio is coming on for Bailey, though. But then Roberts has gone studs up by Thomas. Free kick to Wrexham. And I'm slightly surprised the referee hasn't been looking to act against Thomas there. It wasn't a great challenge, was it, Harry?
No, I mean, Kang sort of made a poor initial touch, kicked the ball upwards, went to receive the ball again, and Thomas was, as you said, studs up straight to Kang's stomach. He's done well to get it straight back up again. But that did look like quite a nasty challenge. Collins was having words with the referee. Obviously, Pearson, both captains were saying, you know, our man was fouled, but the ref isn't really interested. I suppose maybe if one or the other was fouled, he'd have something to do, but because both players were there, and he said, well, fair is fair, and carried on. But yeah, that did seem quite a rough challenge of Carrington, doesn't it?
Yeah, who be a referee, eh? He's got the two captains, two big hulking centre-backs in his face, complaining about different incidents. But I saw it, I couldn't really see a foul on Bailey. He was up now, and he's now pointing at Reed accusingly as if to say he'll get him, as he's told to leave the pitch. Well, he was walking off with a physio, now he's torn back onto the pitch. The referee has seen that, and he's telling him to leave the pitch. And there's the bloody-minded part of me thinks, let him stay on the pitch, and the moment the ball's kicked, blow the whistle and book him. But anyway, he is now walking off the pitch. He's not happy. Shouldn't bring away to the fourth official. And then a challenge to Asbad Thomas. But he's lucky the rest won't didn't speak to him at all. Keats pats Bailey consolingly on the back. Roberts steps up for the free kick. Stamps it up towards the edge of the area. There's a lot of argy-bargy there. The end, Jennings gets him, heads it away from goal. And Kelly's being put under pressure by the face of Taylor. Great tackle by Kelly. And he slings an early ball in the box. Testing, but the keeper comes well and takes it. Came a long way out from his 6-yard box there. And did well, Butler, because Kelly was clever ripping it in so swiftly before Sutton could get their defence organised. Collins down the flank, dangerous ball. Roberts is there, good touch as well. And he clears. Asbad Thomas miscontrols on the halfway line. Has to go back to Bailey. Wrexham pressing hard on the halfway line. Thomas obstructs Carrington. The ref doesn't spot it. Good passing by Sutton, but Wrexham pressing very hard, forcing them back into their own half. Downer now. Rolls at the halfway line. Help down the flank to Taylor. Back to Downer, who can wind up a long one. Then he moves it short. So a pass it around nicely here, down the right-hand side. Taylor cutting in from the flank. Looks for options, has to go backwards. Ball by Bailey now. Kelly wants to get the break going. The midfield's deep, so he carries it forward. Reed's made a run. No one else has. Kelly sensibly goes back to Jennings. He drills it looking for Reed. Puts it out for a throw to Wrexham. 10 yards into the half left-hand side. Say about Sutton overcommitting. Asbad Thomas, who isn't a left-back who can attack, is taking incredibly advanced positions on the pitch. Downer is sitting back at right-back. Thomas once Sutton get the ball, he's playing as a winger and allowing the left-handed man to come inside. It's a hell of a gamble because Rutherford's got pace. If he gets Rutherford in behind him, he's not going to catch him. It's going to take Sutton clear. Akil Wright misheads it and turns his defence. Pearson as well. The hook is away. And then Walton misjudges it, heads it back into his own half. Collins heads it away. Lafayette flicks it on. Pearson's there. Deep in his own half, left-footed. Drills it down the line. Downer. Heads it infield. Inaccurately. Akil Wright drives forward. Bailey tackles. Carrington picks up loose ball. Spreads intelligently to Roberts. Rutherford 3-1. Roberts comes narrow instead. Carrington in the centre circle. Put under pressure. Keeps his cool. Draws 3 men to him. Finds Roberts. He plays it forward, looking for Reed. Collins gets it for dead. Manny Smith attacks the loose ball. Feeds it over the top. Reed is blocked off blatantly by Collins. Ref and linesmen are there. Don't see it, and it rolls for the goal kick. But yeah, Sutton are showing signs they're going to overcommit now, and you just wonder if we get them on the break.
Yeah. And last before when I think it was Kelly, I think it was on Thomas, I'm not sure, or Collins perhaps, on the left wing, sort of sent him flying like someone who's bowling and forgot to let go of the bowling ball, because it's absolutely difficult. But yeah, definitely they're 1-0 down, and the plan A is not working for them. So they've really got to get out some fans positions. And I'd say it's working all right so far, but at the same time they've got to be they've got to be careful of the counter attack from Wrexham, because it's quite easy to get caught out. You can see we've only sort of got two people at the back now, as opposed to the rigid back 4. And as Rutherford picks up the ball, Reed is before, he's going straight up the middle there. He's going to try a through ball. No, he's going to try and beat his man. Thomas is there to stop him though, but Thomas has brought him down, and he's not happy about that. But that was it, just a good example of a dangerous run there by Rutherford. I think perhaps he should have given a through ball to Reed or something to that effect, but it's working well as he's going for it again. But yeah, Sutton are flying by the seat of the pants sometimes.
Well, Rutherford twice getting behind Thomas there, just like I was suggesting. That second ball over the top. Thomas is 20 yards further the field, Rutherford. That's what Wrexham are trying to exploit. Thomas clearly when they've got the ball, suddenly going 4 to 3 at the back perhaps. Down to staying back. Thomas pushing up as much as he can. There's real possibilities to get in behind them as Jeffrey, the sub-team, is ready to come on. Wrexham attacking through at the moment. Roberts goes to the corner of the box. Holroyd holds it up. Works it back. Carrington to Roberts. Level the edge there. There's snapping ball to Holroyd. He turns inside nicely. Helps it on to the heel right. It's going wide. He finds Jennings. Jennings is held off a bit. He's pretty deep. Oh, it's a poor ball by him as well. Down there intercepts it. Feet to the halfway line. Lafayette. That's a sloppy pass. And Wright as well to stretch and control it. And spread to the left-hand side. Emmanuel running at Roberts. Roberts comes to meet him 30 yards out. Emmanuel turns it into Lafayette. Manny Smith gets a foot, a great spread by Manny Smith, and Lafayette beats the ground in frustration. He just experienced what it's like to run up against Manny Smith, and it's like running into a brick wall as 2 players go for the same ball. Reed takes a loose ball, helps on towards Kelly. Bailey does well, slide in and get rid of it. Akil Wright lunges it. A little bit stretched and empty in midfield now, as that's what Thomas picks it up at left back. Rolls down the line, Lafayette, out-muscled by Roberts. Oh, referee. Oh, Lafayette kicks at Roberts there. Well, Wrexham haven't made a fuss of it. Lafayette then, I'm sorry. First he was cute, he bought the foul. He invited the challenge, put his arm around Roberts and then tried to pull him to the ground and did win the foul. As they both went to the ground, well, Lafayette pivoted as he hit the deck and stuck both feet out and jammed them into Roberts. I mean, sort of thing he gets sent off for him, I'm afraid. But it didn't really the ground in contact with Roberts. Roberts was supporting enough to not make a fuss of it. And it's just a free hit from Lafayette. Well, that's awful for him. Jeffrey has come on for Bolton Manuel. Looks like a straight swap. Jeffrey will go wide on the left. Bailey with the free kick in midfield then. Collins on the edge of the area and Lafayette both signal for it. Spun towards Lafayette. He flicks it on and that'll be a goal kick. But I don't know if you saw that instance the same way. I don't know, but Lafayette seems to just go feet footed at Roberts looking there.
Well, there's ground. And then as you said, kind of got his body, put his feet out the front, so give it absolutely no way to describe it. I think over frustration was getting back by Manny Smith earlier, like reaching more in frustration. But it's one of those where as you usually it's very high pressure, takes time to what it is, but stuff like that. Big lad. I would want to get fired.
Got 66 minutes here on Calon and Wrexham 1, Sutton 0. Sutton should score in the second half. It did 20 minutes in the first. Wrexham still on in the third. Sutton makes the field right on that third. Not looking to see an absolute game third in the second half. Looks like it could be the rest of it. So the Eagles walking up very slowly. So that's still here. Was Martin Kelly and Wrexham may not want to do that. Partly because obviously you want to put the bodies critical players in the middle against the team like Sutton. But also because maybe James Thurston from in there, like for like, can play midfield. And because Kelly has been an excellent outlet down the flank. Anyway, see what happens. Right, getting an excellent round of applause. James Thurston ready to come on. Sutton got to change as well. They've got Kieran Cadogan going to come on, and he is a wide attacking player, just like Anthony Jeffrey just came on. So, they're going to change things around. Let's see whether Hurst is going to yes, like he is. Great spot. Like Hurst today, Cadogan is going to come on. Or the right back down there. I think they're going to create the back there. Well, that's up. He was told to come off, then stop, then carried on. But really, the holding midfielder has gone the right man. Now that comes on. Very interesting how they line themselves up now and how they're going to counteract how Wrexham go back there. Let's break more stopping time. So,
Right-hand side, lifts it over the top to Masanka's after it. Masanka can't get to it, but it's hooked clear. And miscontrol on the right-hand side by Bailey. So Kelly has it, works it back to Hurst. Hurst, overhead start, just looking for Jennings. Still 1-0 to Wrexham. I apologise. I believe we cut out here. We had some technical difficulties. Hopefully, everything's coming through okay for you now. As Wrexham win it back in midfield, knocked over the top by Carrington. It's down the left-hand side. Jeffrey. Oh, what a tackle by Roberts. Jeffrey gets a loose ball, and Roberts tackles him again. Throw in, and there's some argy-bargy off the ball as well. As Jeffrey responds to Roberts and retaliates to Roberts' challenge. Referee's going to leave it at that, but it's getting feisty out there. Wrexham pressing as Bailey switches dangerously but accurately to Collins on the halfway line, left-hand side. Collins drives it over the top, looking long for Lafayette, who makes use of his body. It bounces into Cadogan, who bursts in the box, tries a shot, hits the bar and goes over. Hell of a strike that by Cadogan, wasn't it?
Absolutely flying strike there. You know, he's come on. He's substitution. Obviously, been an immediate impact there, but that sort of angle of attack there reminded me a bit of a Holroyd's goal against Tranmere. Then, you know, from the sort of a tight angle into the top of the net. Fortunately for us, it was a bit too high and bounced over the crossbar. Yeah, but maximum power there, and I think Collington was beaten. Unfortunately, he went right over, but yeah, that was a great strike.
Absolutely. So, goal kick to Wrexham. 18 minutes left here on Calon FM. And there's a lot of work still to be done. There's miscontrol by Bailey now. Kelly on the break. Masanka's outside and Bailey rolls Masanka slip. Kelly played it to perfection. He drew the defender to him, rolled in Masanka, one-on-one with the keeper. He slotted it across the goalie, but he put it wide at the right post. What a chance, Harry, what a chance.
Oh, that's so annoying. It was such a brilliant chance. You know, he slid it past the goalkeeper, and unfortunately he slid it past the goal as well. And it's one of those where you think it's easier to score than to miss, but miss he did, unfortunately. He's managed to make a great last-kick challenge there again. But yeah, Masanka, I mean, obviously he's only just come on. Perhaps he's not fully warmed up yet, but that should have been 2-0 to Wrexham.
Massive, massive chance, and you feel at 2-0 this game would be over. As it is, here comes Sutton, a throw-in. Chance for a cross as Asvad Thomas pops it in. Good challenge by Roberts again. Massive game he's had at right back. Thomas will put it into the box. He's not got a massively long throw, but he's thrown it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Flicked on well, but volleyed clear by James Hurst. And Masanka is hassling his man, and he's given away a foul. I've got to say, I think the referee was generous there. Walton got ahead of Masanka, but Masanka had the pace to give him trouble. Masanka made contact with his back, but there wasn't a huge amount of contact. Walton went down softly. That would have been in real trouble if that hadn't been given. Dean Keats is berating the fourth official as Bailey launches it into the edge of the area. Flicked on by Asvad Thomas. Lafayette lays it down. Cadogan over the bar from 15 yards, leaning back, always going over that, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, you're right about Masanka and the referee there. I mean, it sort of gave him the lightest of touches. He just lost his own footing and fell over. And Masanka would have been, well, I think one-on-one with the goalie, more or less. So, very unfortunate. I think the referee probably perhaps wasn't brave enough to let that one slide, because it would have been so easy and so through on goal. But, yeah, you know, unlucky there for Masanka. Perhaps he could have made up for the previous miss just earlier.
Absolutely. So, Cordington with the goal kick. 15 minutes left here on Calon FM. There'll be a fair chunk of added time again. Not as much as the last two games, please. Wrexham leading 1-0. Long ball through the middle. Masanka can't get to it. Goes straight through to Butler. Butler bounces it thoughtfully. Doesn't release it, because Masanka's in his way. Eventually he gets it long through the middle. It hangs in the air, and Hurst gets a touch on it. Carrington launches it long. Look at what Masanka in. John just feathers the ball back with his head to the keeper. Masanka was interested in that. Collins now receiving it from the goalie. Rolls it inside. Masanka working hard. Forces a back pass. Holroyd would chase the back pass. Butler has come out the box to clear hurriedly. Manny Smith attacks a loose ball. Lafayette wins it well. Smashed away by Pearson. He's caught late by Cadogan. Pearson stays down. I don't think Cadogan went for the man, to be fair. I think he was just going to block the clearance, but gives Pearson a chance to stay on the floor and waste a bit of time, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, we won't complain about any sort of time wasted for us there, but yeah, I mean, Cadogan, he sort of made an immediate impact. He just sort of lumped everything, really. It seems, you know, a bit of a, dare I say, I don't want to say simple play in a mean way, but, you know, blasts at a goal, lumps into, well, launches into challenges. But, yeah, Pearson sort of landed on his back there a bit unlucky.
Kwame Thomas comes on, a big striker, another big striker for Sutton, replacing Tommy Rice, who buzzed around to little effect. So, had 3 rights on the pitch at the start of the match. Both players are now off, just the ref remains, and of course Harry Wright commentating. Collington hits it long, but it bounces all the way through. Throw to Sutton by the corner flag. Right-hand side. Wrexham haven't used any of their substitutions yet, apart from James Hurst having to come on. Oh, but I've just say that, I realise Masanka's come on. Ignore that last 10 seconds. There's nonsense. Throw-in taken. And Sutton are penalised. It's gone out of play. Throw to Wrexham. 15 yards into Sutton's half, left-hand side. That's Jennings running the clock down, just adjusting things to his satisfaction, telling players where to go. Throws it down the line, looking for Holroyd. Was he fouled? No. Masanka picks up the loose ball, gets it back to Kelly in midfield. Kelly exchanges past to Carrington, but sends him further backwards, and it wins a throw-in off Cadogan. Sutton left 2 men up now as they try to pull themselves back into this game. Jennings with a throw. Finds Masanka, corner of the box. Masanka, outnumbered, fights and gets it back. Well, he hits it. He drives the shot. Good save, low to his right by Butler. The system play by Masanka. But from 25 yards, Butler was always liable to deal with that. And now Sutton come away. Good header again. by Manny Smith. Carrington hits it long, come back in. Collins looking for Lafayette. He clearly fouls Roberts, pulling him back. Free kick to Wrexham. Wrexham will take that. Roberts stays down. Wrexham are really looking now to run the clock down, aren't they?
I mean, it's quite nice to see sort of the shoes on the other foot as opposed to the guys in the game where, you know, they were doing their absolute utmost to waste the most time possible by any football team ever. But, you know, Wrexham, you know, going on the ground, as a tactic, I have no problem with it, because at the end of the day, it helps you win games, or helps you, as I say, waste time. So I have no problem with it happening, even if it looks a bit suspect from an impartial viewer.
Coddington goes long, Masanka beaten in the air. Butler hairs out of his penalty area, knocks it long to the edge of the Wrexham area. Manny Smith wins it well. Rutherford now deep in his own half, helps it on. Taylor just about gets there ahead of Masanka. Asvat Thomas turns. He's pressured by Roberts, giving it away. Roberts thinks it down the line. Thomas heads it away. And then Carrington fighting, try and claim it from Walton. Good foot in by Rutherford, throwing to Sutton, 35 yards out, left-hand side. 11 minutes left on Calon FM. Wrexham 1-0 up, looking to beat the league leaders. Asvat Thomas throws it in. Carrington flicks it into the box. Pearson wins it well. Holroyd to the loose ball, spreads it intelligently to Jennings. Only Masanka ahead of him. Jennings looks for him long and picks out a ball boy. Throw in to Sutton, 10 yards into Wrexham's half, right-hand side. And Wrexham again just need to keep their shape. Holroyd dropping deeper and deeper, trying to help the midfield. Masanka left isolated up front. Throw in taken into midfield. Taylor turns it round the corner, nice pass, but poor touch by Cadogan. Good set by Jennings. Kelly comes away with the ball, beats one man, beats two, wins the throw-in. He's such a good outlet, Kelly, isn't he?
He is. You know, he's proved to me one of my favourite players of this season so far, because he's such a, as you said, great outlet, great creative player. He can get past his man. He's got loads of pace, and it just, you know, in a game where it's quite open, it just plays straight into his hands, you know, and he just loves it. And, you know, something like that, he's gone out for a throw-in, but he's created that himself, and it's, you know, worked beautifully for Wrexham.
Throw-in taken, Masanka 30 yards out, flicks it over his man, and helps it on, and nearly puts Holroyd in. He put it straight through to the keeper. If that had worked, that would have been phenomenal. Early kick by the keeper is poor. Butler puts it out to play. He's looking for Jeffrey out wide. He wasn't out wide. And Jeffrey chased it gamely. Once he failed, turned, and from a distance gave the keeper what for. Butler, who's flexing his right shoulder quite a lot there. He just made that save, didn't he, from Masanka about 5 minutes ago, low to his right. Wouldn't have he's landed awkwardly. Anyway, Wrexham in their own half at the moment, taking a throw. Wrexham wants a free kick, but referee says not, and it's smashed out of play. Another throw to Wrexham, about 10 yards short the halfway on right-hand side. We're into the last 10 minutes now as Lafayette is buzzing around trying to get the ball back to force Wrexham to take this throw in. Roberts drives the ball under his shirt. He has Masanka down the line. Throws it towards him. Masanka wrestling with Collins. It's flicked onto Holroyd. He back is Masanka in. Masanka, oh, dreadful touch. One-on-one with the keeper from a wide angle, and his second touch was hideous. And just knocked it through to the goalie. Goodness me. Now, someone in the crowd screams, how? How is that possible? Good question. Long clearance, Pearson wins it well. Rutherford holds up, Masanka's offside this time. Collins heads it to him. Masanka running at the keeper, who will just beat him to it. And smash out of play. Oh, poor Masanka though. Unlucky that, Harry. Eh?
I think there's some sort of karmic balance there, because Holroyd's touch, his back heel was so beautiful, like the law of averages had to make Masanka's touch so horrendous to make up for it.
I love that. I like that. The cosmic balance is restored as throw-in's taken. Holroyd miscontrols, driven away long by Walton. It's a good ball to Jeffrey, who tries to hook it on off balance, and Manny Smith's there. Now Masanka is chasing this. Collins misjudges the bounce and launches it up in the air. Throw into Wrexham. Collins for some reason runs off the pitch and heads it further down the pitch, which suits Wrexham. I mean, it's clearly out for a throw, and all he's done is wasted time because Wrexham are not in a hurry to take the throw-in. So throw to Wrexham, 25 yards out. Sutton are throwing a lot at Wrexham, but as I said all along, they all season left themselves open on the break, and Wrexham are carving chances out in the break now. Throw-in taken. Holroyd judges that well. Good ball to Rutherford. Masanka's a march in the middle. Masanka puts it well wide. Oh, the poor lad's cursed. Great move, great cross by Rutherford, 6 yards out. It was awkward coming across him to get the right touch, but he just hit it straight in front of him, and he was in the corner of the 6-yard box. Not the most adroit finish, that, was it?
Masanka, obviously, his biggest idol was obviously our friend Bakare.
Oh, no.
Is that too harsh?
It's much too harsh, that. Here he is chasing away. Asman Thomas heads to Holroyd, right-hand side. Holroyd holds on to it. So wish Holroyd had won those chances. Carrington, and a ball. Sumptuous switch to Kelly. In space on the left, he comes inside. He's going to hold it up. Squares onto Hurst, who helps it quickly on after pass which Kwame Thomas as well to get a foot to, but it spins out for a throw to Wrexham, 10 yards into the Sutton half left-hand side. 7 minutes left here on Calon FM. Wrexham 1-0 up against the league leaders Sutton. As Jennings again delays the throw. Holroyd's offering, thrown towards him, headed clear. Brought down by Masanka, who pokes it to Kelly. He hooks his shot on from the edge of the area. Doesn't get enough on it. Taken by the keeper. Early throw by him. And Carrington is there. Great tackle. Rutherford now bursting down the flank. Collins will beat him to it. Rutherford tries to hold him in the corner. Collins on his left foot drills it away. Carrington heads it back towards Rutherford. Nana. He brings an awkward ball down well. Collins is pulling his shirt. Rutherford wins the throw-in. He's worked hard, Rutherford, isn't he?
He's worked so hard today, but the thing is, I expect nothing less. He works hard every game. He covers every inch of the pitch all the time, and he's such a good player this season. Last season, he didn't really shine, but he's turned it up to 11 this season, and this game especially.
Rutherford throws it in, Masanka, corner of the box, gets it back to him, fed back to Carrington. He wants to switch his pressure. Well played, Carrington. Holds on to it. Roberts down the line. Rutherford, this is a nice play. Outside of his foot to Masanka, who turns nicely into the area. Spreads to Kelly in space. 20 yards out. Will he hit it? He runs into the box. Left foot goes on his man. Chips the keeper. And it's just beyond his man at the far post. Holroyd in front of an open goal. Stretched and couldn't reach it. Rutherford comes inside. Beats one man. Beats two men. Holroyd 6 yards out on the goal line. Digs out cross. Hacked away from under the bar. Now Sutton can break away. 5 minutes left. Frantic stuff this. It's fed inside. It's Wrexham have got their bodies back. Jeffrey down the line. It's picked up by Cadogan and switching flanks. And Wrexham are just waiting for that ball to come in now. Taylor in midfield goes down the line. Ball played back into midfield. Cadogan working his way back to the right. Chips it in. Manny Smith heads it clear. Holroyd against Cadogan. And going wins a good header. Falls edge of the area. Kwame Thomas helps out to Taylor. Taylor runs into the box. Onto his right foot. Thinks about shooting. Back on his left. Throws a shot. Collington carries it behind for the corner. Nice play by Taylor. But Collington was able to stand up at his near post and parry it behind. Corner. Left-hand side, Taylor will put it in Swinger with his right foot. Sutton put one man on the keeper. Lots of bodies around the penalty spot. Wrexham left Masanka up front on his own. Fed in short. Worked back to the corner, taker Taylor, who plays a dreadful return ball, and it drills behind for the goal kick. Oh, the Wrexham fans loved that. That was really sloppy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of this game of individual mistakes from Sutton. I mean, they've worked generally quite well, but a lot of little things like that, that's just, I think, the difference between Wrexham and Sutton today. I mean, you always expect little mistakes like that at this level. It does happen, you've got to accept it, but Sutton have made an awful lot, and I can only assume a lot of other games they've played, they must have just got away with them, because today they just haven't. Little mistakes like that have cost them today.
Yeah, well, that's about 3.5 minutes to survive, plus a good chunk of added time, you suspect, as Conti knocks it long. Masanka can't get to it. Throw in 25 yards out from the Sutton goal, which Kwame Thomas received. Some Collins, and they tried to hurriedly get things going. Squared on to John, and on again to the keeper. Not long by Butler. Lafayette jumps. Pearson jumps too. It drops loose. Taylor pops it back into midfield, where it's hit up in the air by Walton. Rutherford beaten to it by Thomas. Helped on again by Jeffrey. Roberts lunges in with a hard challenge. Just spins up in the air. And Asman Thomas by the corner flag goes down too easily. Ref's not interested, but he's managed to find Jeffrey. Good tackle by Rutherford. Thomas now, penned in by two Wrexham players. Knocks off Manny Smith. Corner. And Wrexham have to dig in and defend another set piece against this big team. Talk about Sutton taking chances. If they don't send someone back, Well, they are now. At the moment, they're leaving Masanka 1-on-1, and Butler is on the halfway line, the goalkeeper. So, a corner from the left-hand side, an in-swinger. Swept to the near post, headed away by Carrington partially. Collins nods it back in the goal mouth. Madison pokes it up in the air. It's headed back into the 6-yard box. Carrington partly away. Ricochets off John. Good ball to the flank. Chance for Jeffrey to cross. He takes on his man. Cuts inside, tries a shot. Blocked by Roberts. That was a brave block. I guess between the legs, and he barely flinched. And then smashed against Jeffrey for the goal kick. That was a bit hairy, but, well, lots of attitude, lots of spirit, and Wrexham repelled it.
Definitely. I mean, this is always my least favourite part of the game. You know, one goal in it was not long enough, but yeah, great sort of spirit to get stuck in the challenges there and defend ferociously. You know, not afraid to dive in front of the ball to stop a shot. And Wrexham make the third substitution now. It's Jack McCrath coming on for a Paul Rutherford again, line to the line. Rutherford, you know, the crowd, today the crowd's applauding him. He's early, he's had a fantastic game.
Well, he said his work rate's terrific, it always is, but what a shift he's put in. McCrath replaces him, and McCrath, of course, has got the pace to break, as we saw in Tranmere, the pace to come back and cover. So goal kick, which Coddington will take. We've got a minute of the 90 left here on Calon FM. There will be plenty of added time. As Masanka challenges in the air, Collins heads it up. Hurst wins it well. Collins gets to it. Masanka and Hurst challenge. Hurst wins it now. Can he put Holroyd in? He can. Is he offside? Yes, he is. A little frustrating that. The defensive line was high. Holroyd looking across it. Maybe should have looked across. He's in so much space. He could have been a yard further back and still onside. Free kick then to Sutton on the edge of the area. Butler will take it. 30 seconds of the half left. Wrexham holding as high a line as they can for this long ball. Don't want any knockdowns to ball in the box. Driven long. Manny Smith away again. It's put back in by Walton dangerously. Flicked on. And Hurst with a crucial foot in. It's one up in the air. On the penalty spot, Pearson does that well. Walton puts it back in. Smith heads it up in the air once more. Pearson, Roberts, tremendous header to climb over two men. Clear to Masanka, who holds it up. He's been held all over the place. He's back, heals it now. Holroyd, McCrath, what a moment, the keeper. He's being held. He's forced wide by Jeffrey. Is he going to take to the corner flag? And the fourth official shows 4 minutes. McCrath goes corner flag. I really thought McCrath was going to be in then. But Jeffrey's pace forced him wide, and McCrath has still got him by the corner flag. He's gone for a goal kick now, but
the whole stadium was on their feet then. Yeah. They saw McCrath was through and goal. I think he was held up a bit, which upset his run, but I think he should have carried on and gone for the goal, because he was one-on-one essentially. It was a brilliant chance. I mean, the crowd obviously thought this could be it.
Well, Sutton at the moment has had Collins up front, the centre-back too now. Kitchen sink job, and swung into the box. Drops loose and dangerous. It's partly clears. Lafayette has scored! In the 91st minute, Lafayette scores. Wrexham concede in the second half for the first time this season, and so close to what would have been a terrific victory. Lafayette got to the second ball and smashed it, hit the bottom of the bar, dropped down and went back up into the roof of the net. Nothing Coddington could do. A tremendous finish. Well, they threw the kitchen sink at us, Harry, and in the end they got through.
I think that it's always the most dangerous period at the end of the game when stuff like that does happen. But those shots are always the most dangerous. The ones where you don't work them in, you just blast them at goal. Because as we saw just now, this happens off the top of the crossbar and in. You know, Coddington did his very best, but it's just so unfortunate, so annoying, because we've absolutely dominated them, but we haven't taken the chances enough. There's still a couple of minutes of added time, so, you know, I'm not going to rule anything out, but, you know, that's just annoying, if nothing else.
Shame for Wrexham, because 4 minutes felt like the bare minimum the ref could have added on. You thought, oh, we're nearly there now. Can't help thinking the way this has gone, the way Sutton have had to commit. It could be quite interesting these last couple of minutes, having said that, as the ball's out on the flank. Wrexham scrapping into Sutton half. Hurst wins it back well, but he's tackled. Carrington now in the centre circle. The crowd urge him on. Spread to Roberts. He's got McCrath ahead of him. Those Masanka misses look very costly now. McCrath comes inside. Roberts is outside him. Not many angles from him. He's done well to find Roberts. Back into midfield. Carrington dinks it towards Holroyd, headed away well by John. Calon Thomas, blatant handball, ref's not giving it, that's astonishing. The lines are there as well. And now Jeffrey is surging 3-on-3 break for Sutton. This is an amazing mistake by the ref, but Cadogan has a chance to shoot, blocked by Jennings. Unbelievable that, but here come Wrexham on the break. Kelly surging forwards. Holroyd offers. Oh, it's under hit. Dangerous moment then after, well, Calon Thomas stuck his hand up above his head and handled it right in front of the linesman. How can a linesman not help the referee out there? It's not long. Pearson clears. Holroyd jumps. He seems to be pushing it back. Nothing given. And Sutton defence struggling to deal with this as it bounces around. Masanka's hassling them. He's won it back on the left flank. Into the last minute. Hurst switches. That's a great ball. McCrath has got Asman Thomas isolated. 3 men in the box. Swings it in early. Headed away well by Collins. Roberts attacks it. Finds McCrath. McCrath uses him as a decoy. Left-footed cross. Masanka, edge of the area. Back to goal. Brings it down. Lays it back. Hurst, 25 yards out. Hits a shot. Deflected. Ricochets around. And is cleared. Manny Smith heads it on once more. And Jeffrey helps it on. Lafayette now chasing this. Hasn't got the pace. Time nearly up. In a frantic conclusion to this match. Roberts wants the ball given to him quickly. Throw into Wrexham deep in their own half. Will the ref add more on for the goal? He throws it down the line, Roberts looking for Holroyd. Asman Thomas heads it clear. Carrington hooks it on into the centre circle. Kelly challenging. Beaten to it by Taylor. Bailey volleys it clear. And they're over the 400 minutes now. Manny Smith challenges and fouls Lafayette. Again, Lafayette goes down softly, but free kick in midfield and one last chance, Harry, for Sutton to launch is in the box.
Yeah, I mean, this has suddenly become kitchen sink for both teams now. Obviously, I think they've probably gone back on top or somewhere near it, but this is costing them their chance of winning the title. Games like this, for both Sutton and Wrexham, so it's become very desperate all of a sudden in this sort of last minute to try one last chance to win the game.
So Wrexham hold the line on the edge of the area. They need to close this out. Collins stands it up. Good 5 added minutes. Manny Smith wins that well, and the referee says that's it. A muted applause from the Wrexham fans who stand to applaud. So close, Wrexham, to defeating the league leaders, but in the end denied by a 91st minute strike by Ross Lafayette. The first time Wrexham have let a goal in during the second half. And Harry, how frustrating is that for Wrexham? They got so close to what would have been an absolutely superb victory.
It is very frustrating, obviously, to have a game you've absolutely dominated, but only coming away with a point. But at the same time, I think that goal was somewhat fortuitous to get into a good position and just to fire it at the net, and luckily it's done its best to miss. It's hit the crossbar, but this time it's gone underneath, not over the top. But if you said before the game this will end 1-1, you'd probably say that's fair enough. Top of the table, you always want to take as many points as you can, and draw's alright. But it's one of those where I'm upset because they scored in the last minute. If it was a draw and they scored in if it was the roles reversed, for example, I wouldn't be upset at all. I'd be absolutely jumping for joy. It's just because it's a last minute goal is what makes it feel so gutting.
It just indicates what I was saying about long ball teams, though. I mean, they may not create, but they keep knocking the balls in. It creates those loose balls. They got to a second ball in the end, and that was all punished us, and it does wear a defence down. You have to be on your toes all the time because the next ball in could be the killer one. You can be ready to challenge the second balls and take nothing away from a magnificent finish by Lafayette. I mean, no one on earth is going to save those, are they?
No, it was a beautiful finish too. Straight off the underside of the crossbar, bounce in. But I think Wrexham could still be happy with the performance, if not the result. Because Wrexham played magnificent. The first half, especially, just were much the better team than Sutton. The second half, a lot of scrappier game. Not as good a performance, but still better than Sutton. And unlucky to come away with only 1 point, but a good performance, I think, if nothing else, that Dean will be, happy with, bar one brief moment of madness in the last minute, more or less.
It certainly was a good performance. We defended well throughout. We broke constantly. So the other factor we've got to consider, we did hit them well on the break in the second half. Tumba Masanka missed some good chances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can necessarily. It's one of those where you'll say after we didn't win, you'll say, oh, if only he'd scored then. But like, just because that doesn't. You can't change the past, essentially. Yeah. He's missed them, but you're just going to say, oh, well, if you'd won, you wouldn't care that he'd missed them.
You can't change the past, we can discuss it.
Yeah, we can discuss it. But it's one of those, well, I personally just think, like, he's missed them, but, what can you do? Sometimes this happens, and, yeah, sure, you can say, oh, if he'd scored then, we would have won. But if we'd scored every chance we'd had, we'd probably win every football game ever.
But as a professional, he would have wanted one of those to go in. He's had a one-on-one with the keeper. He's done the right thing. He's had to put it back across him, put it just wide. As you said, he's just come on. Maybe he's not quite, sort of sharp enough. But then, again, a professional would say, well, you got to be.
Yeah.
The second one, he's one-on-one with the keeper, and that's worse. Terrible first touch. It's slightly tighter angle, but he's still running down the right channel. Just a dreadful touch. Just took it through to the keeper. And then the third one was a peculiar one in a way. I mean, the ball driven in, lovely move by Wrexham. Rutherford, great driven cross, head 6-yard box. And, well, to be fair to him, he's running out at speed, but he's 6 yards out. He just couldn't open up his body to get a glancing touch on it. Got too much on it. And, like I say, he's attacking it roughly on the edge at the corner of the 6-yard box. And he essentially ran onto it and hit it straight forwards, straight out for the goal kick. So, a shame for him. He sort of wished that Holroyd had got on the end of those. And you suspect that one of them at least would have gone in. But, well, like I said, nobody's crying over spilt milk. Lots of good performances. And Harry, man of the match time. Have you got a name in mind? Quite a lot of contenders, I suspect.
Yeah, it's been a lot of contenders. I think, Marcus Kelly, obviously the goal scorer, so naturally he's always going to be there. He's had a great performance on the left, absolutely devastating the Sutton defence. On the other side, Rutherford had a great game as well, doing similar effect, lots of pace, lots of skill, doing a lot. Holroyd as well, doing a lot of damage, creating a lot. And then in midfield, you had again. I think he might actually be my favourite player, Akil Wright. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or what, but I think he was very good in midfield to control it. But I think probably got to be Marcus Calon, to be honest. And not just because he scored the goal, because it was a great finish, but he almost couldn't miss. But just for everything else he did, bar the goal, he's creating all game and just doing an awful lot and looked really good all day.
Yeah, he was a good outlet. He scored the goal. He had some nice skill. He showed things we hadn't seen from him before, quite frankly. I did very well. Although I would also say, the obvious other candidates as well, the back four, who withstood the bombardments, and Kevin Roberts, who was, as you said, at half-time, this sort of game played into his hands, didn't it? Man-to-man combat. He enjoyed the scrap, and he had a very good game. So, well, all in all, Wrexham can look forward to Tuesday, another live game on Calon FM, away to Halifax, another similar team, long ball. It's going to be physically taxing again, but we've shown what we can do against this sort of opposition. Get once more.
Yeah, definitely. And probably learn from the mistake. Well, it's hard even to say it was a mistake. It's just unfortunate that we conceded a last-minute goal. We've done everything right. You really come away with a point. But so it's just sort of a case of better luck next time. Hopefully we'll just get 3 points against Halifax.
Absolutely. 5th time we played Sutton. First time both sides have scored. First Sutton player to score against us, Lafayette. The only other goal they scored against us was a Martin Riley own goal. I'd taken Martin Riley own goal on Tuesday. Thank you very much. He's playing for Halifax now, of course. So frustrating that 91st minute goal denies Wrexham the first time we've conceded in the second half this season as well. And Wrexham's so close to closing out a victory over the table toppers, which, well, would have certainly left us sitting pretty equal top of the table with Dover. Dover got a slightly better goal difference, so we would have been second on goal difference. But, well, as you say, no use crying over spilt milk. Wrexham went close, the unbeaten run continues, and this side continues to shape up to look like the rugged sort of team that can make up a proper challenge at the top of the table at the end of the season. With a final score of Wrexham 1, Sutton 1, Mark Griffiths and Harry Wright, we'll hand back to the studio.
105 FM, Calon FM.
Live independently in your own home with flexible care services on site. Meister Derwent can provide you with peace of mind now and for the future. It's a brand new development of 1 and 2 bedroom, high quality apartments for rent on Grosvenor Road, Wrexham, for people aged 60 years and over with an assessed care need. With an on-site restaurant, landscaped gardens, multi-activity room, laundry room, guest suite, mobility scooter garage, and 24-hour on-site care and support for those who need it. It's got everything you need. Maestaderen is designed not only to make your life easier, but to offer security, ease of access, and helps you to maintain your independence. If you feel you would benefit from the Maestaderen Extra Care Scheme,